Go on then.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to the first podcast of Friday. That is the podcast of The World's Gone Insane. Let's talk about it. And we have a few things to talk about here. Nothing major has really occurred this week at all, has there, Zam? No lists or anything have popped up.
Oh, list. I have to go through a list of my own to see what has popped up.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely. While we wait for people to join us, we can quickly have a fingering of ourselves and just chat bollocks. David Soul passed away of Starsky and Hutch fame and musical fame, and for
He
me,
played Hutch, didn't he?
I'll always remember him from that Little Britain sketch where those parents are just trying to get all these celebrities in whilst their kid is sick, and it's more for their own benefit rather than the kid's benefit.
I remember
And one of
him.
those David Soul, and he was great in that.
I remember from a movie called Salem's Lot, a horror movie,
Oh yeah,
which he was
classic.
in. Yeah, I remember
Yeah, he
him
was
from
in
that.
that.
That was pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
80 years old. I mean, a lot
It's
younger than I thought he would be. Actors of that era, because you got you people like your Dick Van Dyke, who's like in his fucking 90s and shit. You got all these guys, Mel Brooks, all in their 90s. I thought it'd be closer to that. Clint Eastwood's in his
no,
90s.
I thought he was like younger, but then you remember Starsky and Hutch was in the 70s, and he was
Yeah.
already in his 30s there. So
Oh,
it's like,
really? Okay, fair enough.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So good innings. Listen, the guy did a lot of drugs and alcohol, so
he
the
did.
fact that he made it to 80 is pretty impressive. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I've
not
got
not.
quite an embarrassing. Sorry, I was going to say I've got quite an embarrassing personal story about David Soul.
Well, if you want to air it on here where it will stay forever, it's up to you.
Yeah, why
Okay,
not?
okay. So basically, I was in uni, and Jerry Springer the musical was playing at the Palace Theatre, and I was walking through, and he was walking that way, right? And I shouted because I was a little bit drunk. All right, there, Dave. He just looked at me like I creeped off and just walked very fastly the other way.
It's like, well, what's this freak of nature looking at me? Oh, Jerry Springer the musical. Now there's a fucking throwback. I had no intention of ever going to watch it because I just loathed everything about Jerry Springer. But I remember it was the first time in my lifetime where I saw actual Christians here in the UK protesting something,
They
and it was
did.
like
Come on, Chris.
never seen that before, so it was quite amusing. Hi, Christine.
Hey,
Very Christian.
I saw
Okay.
Jerry Springer when I was in New York City when I was 18. They give the tickets away, right? So I
I thought
just
it was
thought
in Chicago.
when I went, it was in New York City, the Geraldo Rivero show.
Oh, okay.
I saw him, and I think it was Joan Rivers' show.
Geraldo was the Jeremy Kyle of his era. When he did his show back in the day. That's how I knew him. And I thought to myself, no, I used to like you, Geraldo. Now you're on Fox News. What happened? That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
he's not as bad as most of them though.
yeah,
He's
no,
like
no
an old
doubt.
school conservative, which I could tolerate them lot. But yeah, I get what you mean though. Yeah, being on Fox News is like, why, bro? Um, yeah, I wanted to go see David Letterman when I was in New York, but you had to. It's like a lottery, so and I couldn't wait around to get to see if I get called out. So I was just like, I fucking forget it.
When were you there?
Yeah.
I was there 2004, September, mid September,
Well,
and
20
it was
years ago.
20 years ago. Yeah, it was fucking hot. And like, the only reason I went was because I got an absolutely banging deal. I saw like the newspapers were advertising like a deal for like £300 to go. I was like, oh hell yeah! And then I realized in the small print, if you did a few extra things, it was £240. I ended up going for. And that's the flight I was telling you where I had Air India there and back, Sam. And to this
Uh-huh.
day, best airline I've ever had.
I
I
believe it.
had going there, I
See,
had the seats to myself. Coming back, I had the seats to myself.
all right.
Coming back, my bag was 30 kilos They did not give a shit. I was ready to pay the extra because obviously you're in America, so I loaded up with a load of shit.
Oh look, I was on a transit flight on Air India to Toronto, Canada. The flight was from India. It stops in England, where I jumped on it, and then it goes obviously to Toronto. And I swear it was like the scene from The Golden Child, where Eddie Murphy's going to Nepal, on that aeroplane. It was just like that. It seriously was. I mean, don't get me wrong, there wasn't water coming through the plane like it was on that TikTok clip, but it was crazy. And at one point they were showing a Bollywood movie on the screen wall, and I wanted to watch it, but there was this stupid girl who kept fucking standing in front of the screen, and I wanted her to move, so I asked the flight attendant, "Can you move her, please? And can you tell her to get out of the way of the screen?" And he told me to fucking do it. Like, no, mate, it's your fucking job. You fucking do it. And so stuff like that kind of it pissed me off. The food wasn't that great either. I wasn't impressed. But yeah, I guess different strokes.
Mate, you got a bad one. It seems.
Yeah,
I got lucky with mine. Every 5 minutes I come around pakoras. I was like, fuck yeah. And then dinner was like,
bastard.
Yeah, every fight was like, "Do you want pakora?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Samosas, lovely chicken curry, lassi, you fucking name it. We had it all, mate, on that flight. I must have got off the plane heavier than when I got on the fucking plane. It was like, it was awesome until I got to UK airport, and then it was like queuing up for 2 hours like a cunt because they only had one person working there.
I don't remember what it was like going back, by the way, because I went on Air India going back, but I don't remember that. But I just remember going to Canada. Anyway, sorry, Chris.
The nightmare it was, yeah.
I'll tell mine after you.
Huh?
No, I'm done.
Oh, I got off the train the first time I went to New York City. I was 18, and two of my girlfriends and I took the train down. And we got off at the main train station in New York City. And literally within 2 minutes, someone's smoking crack. And we didn't get out of the train station. We were counting them. It was 5.
What, crack smokers?
Yeah.
Nice.
Not even really hiding it, just sort of standing in a corner. And I was like, what the hell have I got myself into? But it was a great trip. Had a great time. I've prepared a very quick and easy quiz for you guys.
Okay.
Multiple choice.
We'll do that later on when we've got more people in the in the crowd.
Don't look up the answers when you do it, okay? It's very simple. Very Canadiana.
Very Canadian.
You mentioned about people doing crack. I remember me and some family members, we parked up near Tottenham Court Road to go to a restaurant in Soho. It was the closest we could park, and we didn't mind the walk through London a little bit. But then when we came back, I just saw a couple of guys just standing in like the darkness, so to speak, shooting up like needles. You know what I mean? It was freaky. I've never ever seen it in the flesh, and I wanted to get the fuck out of there before these motherfuckers want to go all fucking Michael Myers and want to stab us with it or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So
heroin addicts, they'll pass out after they shoot up.
They're not gonna chase you.
But you don't know that at the time, so we can see the wax lyrical, but you don't know at the time. You don't know.
I was with my family, some young people with us. Just get the fuck out of there, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was just so surreal. I've never. You see people shooting up in the movies all the time. To see them shooting up on the streets like that, and I only saw one guy would doing the wrapping the shit up, and the other guy had the needle in his hand shooting it up. And now I saw it for a millisecond, but it was enough. It was enough, and I don't want to. That image is locked into my brain, and that's what pisses me off. You know, I mean, that was years ago. The
best thing you can do is get out of there, but. Like, I know when I was doing drugs, I didn't want anyone to catch me or turn me in, so I wasn't going to cause any trouble. You know what I mean? I was going to hopefully be somewhere safe and secluded, but there was a couple times where I was semi-public, because you're a drug addict and your life is run. There are three things you do. You find money, you find drugs, you get and use the drugs. I mean, and spin and repeat. That's all you do.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times it just doesn't matter where you are, as long as you got to get that fix. A lot of people, as soon as they grab it, they just shoot up there and then. It's just, and drug dealers are like, yo, bro, don't give the fucking game away, mate. At least go a couple of blocks down the road.
Right.
No, my life was, as many people know, my life was revolved around it. And the best thing ever is to be free from it. It's liberating. It's the most liberating thing, and I miss it like crazy, man. And and now and again, I think to myself, would it be okay just to have a little toke here and there? And but it hasn't been the case. I haven't I've had the look since I've been stopped doing it for 4 years now. I think I've only puffed maybe 3 times in the last 4 years, which is great. I haven't done anything in over a year. So I think the last time I did something was the Queen's Jubilee.
Well, that's a good reason to celebrate.
And some people had some stuff.
Funeral would have been even better,
But like, for instance, like the poker game I went to not too long ago, some of my mates were smoking, and I didn't, not at all. I just, I was so happy, like that, and you know what it is as well. As I've said this many times. I've got so much more fucking money, and I got more money. I'm able to buy shit. I got more fucking money, but I'm not blowing it on fucking weed. I bought these fuckers, for instance, in this cage, and this shirt, and this computer, and this TV, and this treadmill, and these paintings, and these luxury blankets.
I said to my friend, the one who gave me the weeds that was smoking over Christmas? I said to her, you know what? Because she always complains she's broke. I said, well, this is the first thing you can get rid of because it's not really necessary. It's making your mental health worse. And you can fucking afford to go on holiday if you don't smoke it because you're spending I don't know how much a month she's spending, £300-400 a month. You're going on that. It's similar to what you were spending or roughly whatever. And I was like, that's
something close to those lines, about £400 a month.
Two months of that saved up, and that's a fucking holiday. You've got your flight and you're spending money there. It's just.
I was spending $2,000 a month.
It's
Jesus
crazy,
Christ,
man. The biggest thing that always put me off drugs, because you can ask anyone around here where I live, people my age, everyone was on drugs. I won't call him my friend because he wasn't my friend. It was just some arsehole that hung around with us, friends with other friends, and he OD'd at 14 years old on fucking heroin. It's just fucking insane. I wasn't there when it happened, and that, but all that kind of shit was just put me off, and I was like, I'd rather eat junk food instead. That was my drug. I was just like,
Well, I made it to my 30s before. I didn't do drugs. I'm in my mid-30s. I have a catastrophic back injury.
Is that what pushed you to do it?
What?
Is that what?
Well, they put me on morphine, Oxycontin, Percocets, in the highest doses possible that a person can take without just being unconscious.
Yeah.
And at the same time, unbeknownst to me, I was developing bipolar. So I'm taking these medications and they're making my pain go away. But they're also making because I was slowly going crazy, right? In my mind, I was like, why am I having these thoughts? Why am I doing these really weird stuff? It was making me feel better mentally because it was numbing. It was numbing stuff. It wasn't fixing it. But then they just took me right off the medication because they found out I was supplementing it because it never becomes enough, right? So they just cut me off. They didn't walk me down. My doctor didn't say, okay, we're going to put you in a program. She just dropped me as a patient. She just said, she didn't even answer my phone calls. Her secretary said, you're no longer a patient here. And I was like, she put me on these meds. Shouldn't she be putting me in a program now? Anyway, so once you're that far, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how strong you are, or how straight and narrow you were, or what a great citizen you were. I mean, I worked since I was 14. I was in the military. It's very upstanding, like all those, I guess, societal terms that say that you're a good person, right?
Mm.
So I went hunting, and it wasn't hard to find pills, and started taking pills, abusing pills. And
Was that
then
Oxycontin pills?
what's that?
Was that Oxycontin pills?
Oxycontin, Percocet were my favorites. And then it was, those weren't strong enough, so I'd find morphine. Then those weren't strong enough, so I would dilute and inject. And then it was, couldn't find that one day, but I was with other people that were drugging, and they had heroin. And mixed in there somewhere, it was, hey, let's do some cocaine to wake up. And then it turned into, let's do some crack to wake up. And that's how I got into drugs, because no child, at the age of 4 says, I want to be a junkie when I grow up. Like, they're like, I want to be a cowboy or a fireman or an astronaut or a ballerina. Like, you don't start off going, I want to be a junkie. Shit happens. Sometimes, in my case, it was situational. Other people, it's trauma that they're running from.
In my area, unfortunately, it was just the fucking thing to do. It was just fad.
Welcome, TLD. The hardest drug I've always said is sobriety. I've always said the hardest drug is sobriety. Sorry. Ask anyone with an addiction, it makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't look at sobriety as a drug. I look at sobriety as the alternative. And there are many times, I mean, I can go days without thinking about it, but now as we're talking about it, I'm thinking about it, and don't get me wrong, I got a lid on it, it's totally fine. You know what I mean? But you do think about it, and all of that, and yeah, but it's something, it's something that's always going to stick with you, unfortunately. That's that's the issue, like it's always going to be there. It's always going to be like creeping up on you. Now and again, just to remind you that you could still do it if you wanted to.
Yeah, my mental health will lie to me sometimes when it says, what's the point? Even if you got to be, at the top of your game with bipolar, you're still not going to be the same. You're not going to be who you were before. You're not going to be happy enough. You won't be able to do the things you love because you're back anyway. I make you happy. The drugs make you happy. Take that. And
yeah, that's how it is. Unfortunately, that one crutch that makes you happy, and people just stick to it. And it's almost impossible to kind of break away from. But when you do, the fight's never over. That's for sure.
Yeah, 6.5 years, and it's still going.
Yeah. I just wish it could be like how it is with other stuff I dabble with. Like, I hardly drink anymore, because of my job. It's very hard for me to drink, and I wish these other things that I do, like smoking and stuff like that, which I no longer do anymore anyway. But I wish it could be like that, like just do it here and there, which is what I've kind of done for the last few years. Just done it once or twice. I wish it could be more like that, but I'm so worried that I can get back on the wagon again. It's you just can't go there.
But addicts will try and tell themselves that, I can handle a little bit. I'll just be careful. If you're truly addicted to something, you can't manage it in small quantities. You cannot. You have to not have it. For instance, I haven't had any drug other than medication prescribed to me for 6.5 years. Sorry, I keep burping again.
It's all right.
But in that 6.5 years, there have been 2 times where I've taken a glass of wine. But normally, you just wouldn't even do that either. But wine for me, booze in general, I don't really enjoy it. I never got off on it. It's not even a drug for me. I don't get high. I really can put it down, but that's not the case 99% of the time. So don't even think, oh, I can do one a day or just
Yeah,
you
I
won't.
think with booze, like again, like when you look at like British culture as well, it's all kind of, everything revolves around booze.
Yeah.
It's like the way of life, but I just never liked it. I just did it because other people did it, and then I was just like, I'm not enjoying myself. I don't get hangovers. I've only ever had hangovers like at uni, and that's when the fucking drinks are watered down and like they're shit. When you get good quality alcohol, you don't get a fucking a hangover in theory. But I just got, I got fed up of like having to fork out a lot of money for cabs or a bus taking hours to get back home, and I was just like, fuck this, I'm just gonna drive everywhere. And because I was driving everywhere, um it, everyone else was paying for my soft drinks and they got a free ride out of it as well, and a good time was had by all. So
They pay
it
for
was
your fuel.
safer.
If you
Huh?
can't have a good
No, I
time,
didn't charge for my fuel. I wasn't like that. They just bought me like a couple of drinks here and there because it's on my route anyway. So there was no massive detours. Like if I had to go, because it's all along the A10,
and if
Yeah.
you're
if I had
going out,
detour off of that, I'd be like, no, you get your own way there, and I'll give you a lift back, but I won't pick you up, kind of thing.
oh, I thought you were going
But
out with
everyone lives near me anyway, so it was never a big issue.
I thought you were going out with them, just not drinking, because you can do that and have a good time. It's weird the first
Yeah, no, I'd
few
go out clubbing
times,
proper.
but you can.
No drinking. I don't need to drink to have a good time. I'm already extroverted,
Yeah.
so I've got no issues with like that. So
Me
I was
too.
just like, yeah, this is better because I save money as well.
I'm actually
Hate it.
drinking. I'm drinking on the stream right now, so. I
Oh,
can't
you're
really-
northern.
You're,
so
you're
guys always
northern.
drink,
Yeah.
you know,
Like
you
the,
lot all drink. Hey,
the last time I got drunk was just a few years ago. A friend of mine, he was having a stag night, and I got really drunk at his stag night. He lived 2 doors away from me, so I was able to walk home. And I just remember, even though I had a fantastic time, I had a really good time, and I was chatting so much shit, but I was so drunk. But the following day, when I woke up, bladder bursting, hangover, dehydrated, and it made me realize that even though I had a good time the previous night, I don't miss this life because the aftermath ain't fucking worth it anymore. You know what I mean? And knowing that you're dead inside and you need to go to the toilet, but you don't want to get up at the same time is a horrible fucking feeling. Who's going to win first, your bladder or your apathy? Your bladder can never win, but you don't want to piss on your bed. So,
And you gotta find that monkey that shit in your mouth and stole your wallet, and that's hard to do.
Yeah, well, luckily my wallet was intact because I was at a neighbor's house and they had an abundance of free alcohol. The furry tongue, I had that. I couldn't wait to brush my teeth. You know what I mean? Just so I could get that brush on my tongue and scrub that layer of fucking shit off my mouth. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, first year of uni, I was lucky because we had a sink in our room, so that was basically that was my chamber pot. I'd just piss in the sink. It just made
no, really?
Yes.
Yeah, the best one that was my roommate downstairs because we basically rented out the front room as well just to make life cheaper for us because we all sat in the kitchen because it was a big kitchen. But he'd piss out the window, and one time I'll never forget this because he went to piss out the window, and as he's pissing, he trips over himself, falls down, streak of piss all along the wall. He's lying on his back, piss coming out him like a fucking and we're just sitting there, just screaming with laughter. It was the funniest thing. And he still didn't remember doing it. He wakes up in the morning, he's like, why does my room stink of piss? We're like, mate.
Like my mate, Ray.
Ray.
He lived in this housing association place in Camden, and his bedroom at one particular point was on the very, very top floor. And we were blazing and having a few drinks and stuff like that. And I kept over at his house, but then in the middle of the night I woke up and I thought I need to take a piss. Yeah, I'm absolutely. But I mean, initially I tried to sleep it off. I couldn't. Yeah, I mean, I had to go get it done. But I realized that even though I'm all the way at the top, I got to go down 5 flights of stairs all the way to the bottom. Yeah, because that's where the fucking toilet was. Yeah, they made the bathroom toilet in the middle floor. The bathroom toilet on the middle floor just became only a bathroom only. And so the toilet was all the way down. One toilet for a housing association for like 5 or 6 fucking people. And it's all the way fucking downstairs. Yeah, and I thought, and as I was making my way down, I thought, fuck this, and I just opened up a window and I just pissed out like on the corridor of the stairs. There's a window, and I just thought, fuck this, I'm just gonna piss out of this.
You can hear
I
people
can't do
outside
it.
the street. Oh, it's fucking raining again.
Well, luckily it was going into the garden area and stuff like that. Plus, it was really cold. I just want to get back into the sheets again and stay warm. Another time, by the way, at his house, I was bursting to take a piss, and when the lights on in the toilet, but there's no door lock. When the lights on in the toilet, that means that somebody's in there. And I'm bursting here, and the light's been on for ages, and I'm thinking to myself, I need to know what's going on. Yeah, I can't wait any longer. And I open the door, and one of Ray's flatmates has fallen asleep on the fucking toilet. Yeah, she has fallen asleep on the fucking toilet. You know, she's snoring on it and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? And I didn't want to disturb her, so I went in the garden and I pissed in the garden. That was the best I could do.
Mate, to be fair, if you're gonna fall asleep anywhere, falling asleep on the toilet is perfect. Because no matter what control you lose overnight, it's all going in there, mate.
Yeah, fucking hell.
I was at a hotel in Ottawa. There was a conference for senior military people that were non-commissioned officers like myself. And I was the most junior person there as a sergeant. There was other sergeants, but you had like sergeant majors there, quite a few and stuff. And I picked one up at the bar afterwards, and he came back to my hotel room, threw up everywhere, and then passed out. And then he has the nerve. He wakes up in the morning. He steps on something. He's like, "Ew, there's gum on the floor," as if I'd spit gum on the floor. Like, that's your own fucking puke.
Yeah.
Get out of my room.
God. Fucking hell.
Didn't even get any because he passed out.
Great stuff.
Man,
The nerve.
And his name was Ginger Greek. Sorry, I'm only talking Paddy.
And I've never been more proud of myself ever. And on that bombshell, let's get into the news. Zam, why don't you start us off with Barstools?
All right. Barstool Sports have been found out, and they got nowhere to hide, of being a bunch of racist cunts. And I'm going to show you exactly why. Let me just put it up on the screen. Let me zoom it in a bit so you guys can see what's going on. So here's a prime example. Barstool is getting called out for saying Quinn Ewers was having fun, but Jay Morant was shooting bullets. They were both doing the same dance. And here it is, Quinn Ewers, a white guy in the NFL, doing this dance, and they about bullets into Section 31. But listen, hold on. Listen, I got more to say because I've seen this shit before by newspaper articles when it comes to black and white players. Like for instance, when a white player buys a house for his mom, the newspapers say that, look at this guy, what a nice person that he is. He's buying his mom a house. A black player does it. He's splashing the cash on a new pad and all that sort of shit. The rhetoric is totally different, you know. And this is just a prime example. And by the way, this is just something I've seen. I've seen some YouTube videos of them talking about Colin Kaepernick and how upset they were. But this is Barstool Sports, the main guy who owns it, talking about how upset he was that he was sitting for the national anthem. And because of the way he looks, apparently he looks like a terrorist. They're racist fuckers, man. You know what I mean? And this is in your face. This is in your face right now, showing how racist they are.
Okay, because that's why it's not.
Gary Bottle.
Okay. The reason this isn't racist, I'll explain in a minute, right? The guy on the left was just doing that as a celebration. The reason the guy on the right and the same what he did is that this guy has been suspended twice for gun ownership. So he's doing that to basically spit in the NBA's front office's face because he got caught twice and suspended twice for gun ownership, right? The first time he went to rehab for about, I think it was about 5 days or something like that, and then got reinstated, right? The only reason people say it's racist because they're stupid, all right? Do you understand there's two different contexts here, right? The context is that Ja Morant is a stupid idiot who played with gun twice, got caught twice, doing it on Instagram, was told by the league not to do with it, and Gwyn Effers to my Ewers or whatever his name is, to my knowledge, has never been done for gun ownership on Instagram. So you can fuck off with this racist shit.
Well, it's still one person having fun by doing a
Yes,
shooting thing, and another person. I know you explained it, but it's still like one person who's white who happens to be doing it, and the black person somehow is not allowed to do it because of what you said, which is I think is not right either. You know. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to press it like that.
Even if we throw this example away, we can take many more examples. If a group of white lads come out after a hockey game and destroy Calgary because they won the Stanley Cup, it's youthful indiscretion and partying. If a basketball game have a bunch of youths that's, let's be honest, are mainly black audience go out after a game when they won, I don't know what cup they have, and destroy the town and start a parade, but then it ends up getting out of hand. They're savages and animals. So this isn't one example.
They're doing. They're both doing the same dance. This is not a chant. They're doing a dance. A routine. Gun culture is American as fucking apple pie, dude. You know what I mean? So, so like, why is it okay for one person to? I know what you mentioned, but it's not good enough. Because this person should be allowed to do, have fun, and like this person is, regardless. But no, he's not allowed to.
And it's not the only example. It's just one of many.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not a big fan of Dave Portnoy or Barstool Sports, but
I'll be right back.
But I don't bullshit when I see it and hear it. And this is bullshit, right? Because
well, in this instance, it might be, but again, there are plenty of other examples. Hey, Vance.
Oh yeah, the whole thing with Colin Kaepernick was racist as fuck.
Yes, anyone that writes
and it was Barstool Sports who called him, saying that he looks like a terrorist. I mean, this is their rhetoric. It's just, and this is something that they are renowned for, and like, so I'm not surprised that they look one way for one thing and look at other things differently. And a lot of people agree. I mean, you see all the comments here or on Twitter. I mean, people can see between the lines, Gary. You got to see between the lines, mate. Like he's just doing a dance. It's just a dance, mate. It's you can mention all these other things, but he hasn't harmed anybody. He's doing a dance. And somehow this guy's allowed to have a dance and he can get away with it. And this guy, he's spraying imaginary bullets. It's ridiculous.
Let's see if other people join in from basketball teams in solidarity and see what happens. They'll be like, "Oh my god, they're telling you to kill the bourgeoisie," or some stupid shit like that.
If it was anyone else but Ja, I'd be with you.
Everything what?
If it was anyone else but Ja, I'd be with you.
Yeah, but
he taunts the fact that he got suspended for gun stuff on IG.
I'm not doubting that, but he's still doing that dance. And and what I'm trying to say is that if this dance is now associated with taking the piss out of his gun taunt, then surely this other person who's also doing that same dance should be saying, you shouldn't be doing that dance because it's associated with this guy.
My question is, all right, if Quinn Ewers was convicted, was doing the same thing that Ja Morant was, which was be suspended twice for gun ownership on Instagram, he'd have the same sort of thing that Ja would be getting, because you lose all benefit of the doubt in that sort of thing, because he'd be spitting in the NFL. Is he called? No, it's a college athlete. So in I think it's CFPL. Who did the college league, he'd be seen in exactly the same light. So this is not a race thing. This is one context of a guy who got done for gun ownership and literally spitting in the league's face to a guy just doing it just to have a little bit of fun. now we can say now again, if Quinn has ever been done for gun ownership, then you're fair enough. I agree with you. It is
But
bullshit.
what was exactly was his crime regarding gun ownership? Did he kill anyone? Did he shoot at people?
No. So basically, what happened was he got caught with a gun on Instagram Live. The NBA, Adam Silver, who runs it, asked him to come in. He went to rehab for 5 days, I think it was. He then came out. He did it again and got suspended for
Rehab. Rehab for what?
Why? What state is he in? What are the rules?
Right, I'm just explaining what happened. You can
Get rid of this screen, Zam.
I'm sorry, 1 sec.
So basically, what happened was he went to rehab because he said that his gun ownership was to do with the fact he came from. I think it's like he wanted to be part of gang culture, whatever it is. So the rehab was to kind of detoxify his mind from that sort of wanting to go. It has nothing to do with white or black. There could be white gang culture and black culture.
Yeah, right.
No, there is. Right. So I live in Salford. There's loads of white.
Gun culture when you're white.
I want to just get to the context of why he's not allowed.
Right, and then he got convicted a second time, and he got suspended for most of last season, and he's only just come back. I think
what was he convicted for?
No. Listen, hang on. This is not answering my question. Why aren't you allowed to flash a gun in a country where you're allowed to own a fucking gun? This is
because you're a professional athlete.
A professional athlete is not allowed to hold guns?
Yes, because that's part of the NBA rules.
So if you're a professional athlete, you're not allowed to own a gun?
No, you're not allowed to be in possession of gun.
So him taking the piss out of a street, because it's not like he did something majorly criminal. He was basically having his Second Amendment right taken away from him, and he took the piss out of it. Yeah, which is what he's doing. He's not making. He's taking the piss.
IG
out
terms
of
of rules. Okay, so hang on. So all right, here we go. So, okay, I gather this might be one of the things with Instagram terms of rules, but the NBA rules of conduct, I suppose you can't flash a gun either.
No,
you can own a gun, you just can't flash it.
Correct.
No, but just to be sure, no,
it's a morals clause.
No, but hold on. I want to say that the Barstool Sports saying that he's spraying imaginary bullets into Section 113 after the slam. That's what they're saying. Yeah, he's probably taking the piss out of the stupid laws that have restricted him from holding a gun in the first place. He's not spraying bullets, and that's the racist part I'm trying to get to, mate. Yeah, that's racist as fuck. Yeah, saying that he's spraying bullets, yeah, into Section 113. Yeah. All right, and that is racist. That in itself is 100% racist. Yeah, because the guy doesn't like a stupid law. He hasn't done anything wrong. Yeah, when it comes to, I mean, like, I understand regarding the NBA rules and stuff like that. The rules are stupid, and he's obviously going against the rule. But the claim that he's spraying bullets into that crowd is racist as fuck.
Okay, but I could. All right. Do you remember when Robbie Fowler got suspended?
And let's put it into context again. I'll come back to you just again. This is the country that bangs on and loves the Second Amendment. And they're not defending him for being suspended. They're not defending him for exercising his right to own a gun and flashing it on screen. They're going along with all the suspension stuff, and then they're criticizing him again on Twitter for it. Just to put that into context. Go on, guys.
Okay. But the media here got on Robbie Fowler for getting suspended for doing coke, and then going along the after he scored the goal, going along the famous touchline, pretending to snort it.
Right? I thought it was funny.
And he got in trouble for it. So that's a white athlete. So yes, they do it both ways. If a guy's good at the context.
Well, we're not America for a start, and doing drugs is illegal. But like the Second Amendment thing is a whole different ballgame. But he could just quit, being in the NBA, and then boom, he's allowed to have a fucking gun. So it's also the forces.
There's a big double standard as well.
He can have a gun. He can have a gun. It was flashing it on YouTube, making it look cool. Probably didn't lie within their morals clause as a business. Showing like Disney will have a strict morals clause about being too sexy, but it's not right. Their Second Amendment is definitely skewed towards white gun ownership. Everyone, it's all about the Second Amendment until you notice the Black Lives Matter. The Black
Yeah.
Lives Matter protest. There was one where people armed up and stood very peacefully outside a courthouse or something, and they brought in thousands of cops because it was black people with guns. But yet a bunch of white guys can do it, and in advance they knew they were going to do it, even on the 6th, and there was only like a couple dozen cops there waiting, and look what happened. You know,
And,
as
yeah.
long
Yeah.
as you're not black,
And
that's
again,
for everyone.
so the argument as well I want to put forward is, okay, so NBA has its rules. That's fair enough. Where were the pro-gun lot defending his suspension, saying he shouldn't be suspended?
Yeah,
Where were they saying that's his right as an American to
yeah,
flash and hold his gun? You see how many posts by fucking politicians,
Well said.
okay, posing by their Christmas trees with all their guns in their hands. You have other people with guns spewed all over the thing, and everyone's cheering that on. Fair enough. I got no problems with guns, responsible gun ownership, all that's fine. But the problem is, if anything had happened to them, they'd be up in arms. Happens to him, not a fucking word. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The white guy's having fun.
really-
He's not spraying bullets into the fucking crowd, is he? Yeah, but the black guy's
Yeah.
spraying bullets into the fucking crowd. Bollocks, man. Bollocks.
There's-
Racist,
yeah.
mate.
You know,
Racist.
Well,
Context
you're
is-
right,
is everything.
Ginger. Ginger, you're so right. If a white guy had trouble because of this exact same thing, or even something similar or worse, depending on how you view this, the NRA
Well,
would be like on his side defending them. But it's a black guy,
Yeah, Carl
and
Rittenhouse.
the NRA and
Yeah,
the
Carl
Second
Rittenhouse goes out
Amendment
murdered people.
only
Everyone jumps to
applies
his defense.
in writing for everyone, but in reality, it truly only applies to white people.
Yeah, it does. Context is everything. And the one thing I argue with people, and you should know as well, is bigger picture. Never singular incident or singular moment. It's bigger picture, it's history, it's context, it's everything. And this is where the right fails every time, because they only look at things that happen in the now. They can't contextualize, they can't do nuance, they don't know about the past, they don't know anything, they just know what they're being fed in the moment, there and then. And this is where, you know, you've got to put things in a context. Now, look, I don't give a shit they did the gun thing and all of that. I respect that there's conduct rules, you know, with waving guns on Instagram and all of that. That's fair enough. You don't want to breed that kind of contract. My only argument in this whole situation, where were the Second Amendment law to defend him when the suspensions happened?
Did he
That's
come
my
out
only
and-
argument. Yeah, with everything else,
did
fair
every
enough. It
single
can be taken either way, but that's my my argument. No one was there. He flashed his gun in a moving car to show that he was strapped. Watch the video. It's not proper to A. Well, if he flashes gun in a moving car, but again, that's not the point. The point is, I get the suspension. I get that. If there's rules to that, that's fine. I am talking about people not coming out
Right,
to
bigger
defend
picture.
him in his right.
Like the
Because we've
NRA,
seen plenty of white people do that, and they'll come out and defend them. Carl Rittenhouse is the
Yep.
prime example. Carl Rittenhouse was attacked with a fucking skateboard, and he was there to cause trouble, and the police
He
allowed it to
he
happen.
crossed county
right? Jesus
lines.
Christ.
He crossed county lines to kill people, dude. He
Yeah, he
went there.
crossed
He didn't have to
county
go
lines to
there.
kill people,
How did he defending
which is
himself? He
illegal.
goes there. His mum takes him while he's got a fucking machine gun in the back of the car. He's driving there to fucking kill people, not defend himself.
it wasn't a
Yeah,
machine gun.
yeah.
Fucking
And
stupid.
Sorry, I
it
apologize.
wasn't a machine
Yeah.
gun, and it didn't have to be, because the weapon he had was deadly enough.
What was
So-
it?
Don't give them the right any
AR-15.
ammunition against you and say,
AR-15,
"Oh, it
sorry.
wasn't a machine gun." That's not the point,
I'm
really.
British. It's machine gun to me. You know what I mean? So
it
yeah.
was rifle,
yeah.
but
It-
it doesn't matter. It still kills you.
Yeah.
That's it.
I-
And the
I-
intention was there to kill people, and everyone cheered him on.
Let me be frank. If, let's say, for example, a white player did this, and the NRA were coming out to defend him, I'd still say it was fucking stupid. Because when the league you work for are literally saying this is against the rules, don't do this, and you do it twice. I'm sorry, I can't. There's one thing I can't.
No,
stand
that
is
part I
stupidity.
agree with. if there's a conduct there, it doesn't make sense to me because of the Second Amendment thing. So even within a company, they might have their conduct. But I get Instagram saying, don't flash your gun. And the guy's flashing it in a moving car. Then there's reasons to fucking step in and be like, hey, listen, the context within that is that gang culture, the drive-bys and all of that. And you don't want to glorify that. So I agree that that's another area where we can't just not look at that. We're talking about America and their guns and all that, but we can't ignore the fact that the context within him flashing a gun while driving by as well. So there is context to both of those. Bigger picture.
And I said earlier, as I said earlier, regarding what Barstool's posted was genuinely racist. You can't now. We've broken it down to you, Gary. It's obvious because you can't say that you're spraying bullets in the crowd whilst the other guy's having fun. You know, why is he not spraying bullets into the fucking crowd? It's just their assumption because of what he done in the past. He's just doing the same fucking dance as the other guy, and they want to call it spraying bullets into the crowd. That is racist as fuck because he's black, and that's why they're fucking doing it. And they have a history of doing shit like that as well. So they don't get off the hook on this one, in my opinion.
Yeah. And he did cross the state lines. Even if it's 10 minutes from your house, it's still crossing the state lines. Different rules apply in different states. And he went there to fucking kill people and to start trouble. So you're not defending yourself because you're just there and somebody's coming towards you. You go into the fucking crowd, you start causing shit, firing your gun, and then people are trying to stop you. All right. Or they see a guy with a gun, they're trying to stop them. And then he kills 2 people. So, you know.
He wasn't defending. He wasn't defending himself because he could have left. He didn't even have to show up.
Yeah, he could have gone home. He wasn't there looking for trouble.
Yeah,
that looks beautiful. By the way,
I thought I'd bring you outside. I'm gonna feed the birds.
I'd fucking love to live.
Even if he wasn't crossing state lines, even if he didn't cross state lines, the fact that he went out
because he was white and fucking the system there is very skewed and corrupt. Plus, courts of public opinion put pressure, and with Trump as a president as well, there was pressure.
Second Amendment shit, fucking.
Let me say this, right? Right. The NRA is racist as fuck because it didn't allow black people. I think it wasn't until like 1973. I think. I mean, I might be wrong with the dates there, but it wasn't until pretty recently that they did that. So I get where you're coming from. And plus, like a black person with a gun, even if mentioning a gun, is not seen the same way a white person is, and I totally get that. I'm totally with you.
Well, look what happened when the Black Panthers used their Second Amendment rights to hold guns. Ronald Reagan, within seconds, was like, "Nope," made that illegal in California. You know, brought in strict gun control in California just because the Black Panthers were arming themselves to defend themselves.
They've done social experiments as well regarding open carry laws in America where white people can walk around with a fucking assault rifle on their back. Black person does it, they immediately get fucking arrested. You know,
there's loads of videos out there with that. Loads of videos. Yeah.
Loads of videos. Plenty of black guys that get pulled over for a traffic stop, and the cop asks in a lot of states because that's what they have to do. And the gun owner has to say yes. And then produce the ownership, right? There's so many videos of a black guy with his family sitting in the car, hands on the steering wheel, and they're like, "Do you have a gun in the car?" "Yes, officer." "Bang, bang, bang, bang!" You know. Whereas if it was a white dude with his family, he'd be like, "Where is it?" "Oh, it's in my glove box." "Can I see your registration?"
Well, Chris, how many?
The guy who there was that guy who was, I can't remember what job it was. I think it was just a cleaner, and he said to the cop, "Look, I have a gun in the glove box. It's within the state laws and all of that, but that's where my license of registration is. May I please reach in and get it?" And he didn't even get to reach in before the cop panicked and shot the guy, killed him, gunned him right in front of his wife and daughter.
Yep, I wouldn't go for it. I would be like, when they say you can reach for it, even if they said, "Okay," I'd be like, "No, take me out of the car, handcuff me."
Yeah, but like, you reach for it, mate. I'm gonna sit over there in the corner because
how often how often we've seen these mass shooters being arrested, these white mass shooters, who shut up schools or shut up shops or shut up cinemas, and they end up getting arrested by cops, which is quite remarkable.
Well, the
Yeah.
guy that shot up the church, and the fucking cops arrested him, and they took him for Burger King. They got him Burger King because he requested it before taking him to jail.
What about the guy who shot up the movie theater?
I'll defend that. Because what I think they did there was that they weren't treating him nice. They were tricking him into feeling comfortable so that he'd be more cooperative. That's my opinion anyway.
I'm just thinking, would those exact same cops have done the same thing if they were prior to even?
No, if it was a black guy, they would have shot him dead.
Yeah, would they have done that to a black guy?
It's
And
just
that's,
the right response,
because
No, he wouldn't be alive.
and so it's just the consistency there, Chris. You know, if they would do it with both, if they either do it with
Yeah,
both,
if you
or
believe
don't
that,
do
Rick, but you believe anything, mate.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? They probably wouldn't have been alive, to be honest. When I think about it, I'll take that back. The black guy would be
No,
dead.
TLD, it's not how you talk to the cops, mate. Some cops are just brain dead, trigger happy idiots. They're always on edge. They're taught to be scared of everything and everyone. All right. If you see the guy, the video's out there. Okay, the guy that got shot. I'll see if I can find it. I'm not going to play it on here.
The guy literally pulled over into lay-by asking for help because his wheel got busted or something like that. And the next thing, cop goes wrong, shoots him dead for just being in a lay-by.
Oh,
that's it. That was his crime.
I saw the video of this guy, this black shop owner.
I'll give you an example of it's not how you treat the cops.
Sorry. Yeah, this black shop owner. He called. I think his place got robbed, or there's somebody who came in and stole a few things, and he called the police, and the police beat the fuck out of him, in his own shop, and it's all there on camera to see it. Like I have seen so many videos of police brutality towards black people. I saw that woman recently who tased that black guy on the hood of his car, and he's like fucking crying. The black guy is, unbelievable. I mean, she already had him cuffed and started tasing him, and obviously George Floyd already cuffed, and they killed him whilst he was cuffed. So yeah.
Obviously, this is not as severe, but it is definitely an argument or a good example of how it doesn't matter how you talk to the cops. There was this young Canadian woman driving through the States, north down, probably to Florida. I don't know why, but down to Florida. And she was pulled over. I believe it was in Georgia. Now, as the Canadian driver's license holder, I can drive without an international driver's license in 4 countries, to my knowledge: the United States, Mexico. There's, I believe, a Middle Eastern country that starts with a T, and I can drive in the UK. What?
Tehran, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
That's a capital.
That's a city. That's a city.
It's very obscure, and I can drive in the United Kingdom for up to 12 months before I need one. And then with the rest of the countries in the world, it's about 2/3 I need an international driver's license for a good reason. They have very strange, different laws. And then the other third, it's recommended. So this woman gets pulled over by a Georgia State trooper, and a female cop. She's like license, registration, and blah, blah, blah. And of course, she's being pulled over because she's an out of country license plate. They just want to make money off you, right? So she provides all this, and she's like, 0 to 100, you're driving without a license. And the girl's like, no, ma'am, that I gave you my license. It's like right there, ma'am. And Canadians can't drive in the United States. Like screaming at this woman, not like 0 to 10 to 20.
It doesn't even know the law.
Respect my
authority. And this girl's trying to remain as calm as possible. She's like, no, ma'am, ma'am, the whole time. It's like, we have an agreement between the United States and Mexico, just as you're allowed to come to Canada and drive, and Mexicans can drive in Canada on their license. We have an agreement. It might even have been tied into NAFTA. I don't know. But I assure you, could you just maybe call back to the station and have them look it up? Ripped her out of the car, like puts her in handcuffs, throws her in the back of the car. This sweet little girl is fucking crying her eyes out because she's now had her freedom taken away from her. She's going to jail. The car's being towed, so she's going to have fees to get it out. And all because this cop didn't know her job. And if someone doesn't have a license, they can't drive anymore. You get someone to pick their car up or you tow it, sure. But you don't put them in handcuffs. You give them their ticket and you send them on their way.
Again,
but she dragged her from a car and boom, like it's amazing. 0 100.
They a couple of years back they had a British officer went over to America to see how they police. I think it was after like, you know, a spate of like black people just getting fucking gunned down, and yeah, he was just absolutely gobsmacked at how badly they're trained. And he just said, "This you're not training police. You're training a military. So this isn't the way they act. The way they train them is to always have fear, to always be irrational, and they don't even get proper training. Like over in the UK, like to be a cop, there's a lot of studying to do. It's very thorough. It's not fucking easy. So you've got to be really dedicated to it. But in the States, it's not. It's not as thorough as anywhere else. It's insane. And the first port of call was just treat everyone like a piece of shit, throw them to the floor, get money.
Yeah. They don't even do psych evaluations half the time.
No.
I think that's probably one of the more important things. I'd rather someone be a little, slow on their feet, but have to use a taser to correct the distance, but know the laws and know how to de-escalate. I'd rather have those people than some super fit steroid freak.
Yeah,
that failed this fight.
Before I say anything, go on. Gary had your hand up, and then I'll come to you, Zam.
Yeah, because I actually years and years ago had an interview for Free Police, and I had one interview, and it then would require me to do a fitness test, which was a lot of bogus shit, and then a psych evaluation. That's just to be a police officer and get there, and then to be trained on top of that. In America, I think you get 6 months, and that's it.
If that, I've heard 6 weeks, depending
on where
you are. I've heard 6 weeks. 3 months, 6 weeks.
In the UK, so Gary, nail on the head there. So when you apply, before you get to any interview process, you have to show that you can run 2 miles or a mile or something like that, like straight. Not a full pelt, but you've got to show your fitness levels. You've also got to have a psych evaluation, which beggars belief because the state of our cops over here is not exactly great. But then compared to the United States, they're like fucking butter over here. You know what I mean? And so I've lost my train of thought, but that's basically, I was just coming in on Gary. So Zam, you wanted to chime in.
The last 2 comments here by TLDs, I've been pulled over with multiple guns in my 2-seater car. Never ever gotten a ticket. Is how you talk to cop. All right, you've been lucky. You've been lucky so far. I'll be honest with you. And there are racist sick people who get jobs as cops, but doesn't mean all cops are racist. But the point is, there are too many racist cops, and that's what you need to be focusing on. Not all cops are fucking racist. There are shitloads of them. I remember this one.
The Institute of Policing in America is racist.
And like there's one black conservative guy, he was like a self-proclaimed libertarian and shit. You saw him on social media, trying to like do. He one of these motherfuckers who goes on about both sides, and all that shit. Usually, but you can tell people who go on about both sides are very right-leaning, regardless. And he ends up getting killed by a cop. He defends cop and shit like that, and he ends up being killed by a cop. And like, where was your both side? Where was your not all cops? All of this shit? You know, where were you with that? I mean, this guy apparently is law-abiding citizen, self-proclaimed, all of these things, and a cop pulled him over, and we don't exactly know what happened, but he's dead. He's dead from being pulled over by a cop. You know what I mean? And it just goes to show that even if you are on their side, on politically, sometimes these motherfuckers don't give a damn. They'll fucking kill you on the spot if they have an opportunity to. They're meeting quotas a lot of the times. There are too many racist cops. That's my problem, TLD. Not all of them are racist, but there's too many that they are, and that needs to be filtered out.
And that's not an excuse. If 95% of cops are awesome or even just adequate, that doesn't mean we shouldn't go after the 5% that are putting lives in danger, that are taking lives, both physically taking their life or putting them in jail unnecessarily and taking away their lives and them away from their children for no other reason. And in a lot of cases, for ego and ignorance. So I don't care how well your top of the class is doing. Great, good for them. That's the standard. They don't get a cookie for doing their job, but we will go after those that aren't doing their job. And in this case, this type of job, when you don't do your job, people die.
Right.
Yeah.
Just full disclosure, a couple of my uncles were police officers, and this is a bit of a difficult subject for me because I'm very pro-police, but I'm very anti-police being violent towards specific minorities. I think that they should police everybody equally.
We all are on
Well,
that.
thanks for that. Yeah, that was insightful.
No. But what I'm
yeah, but you state the obvious, Gary. I mean, that's the obvious.
But what I'm just saying is, right, I went for a BLM march in Manchester, right, and there's a lot of people in Moss Side, which is a very predominantly black area, and they say that they get stopped a lot of the time, they get flaming bullets. So it happens over here as well, the flaming racist.
Yeah, it does, but but unfortunately, our cops don't carry guns like they do in America, so they live to tell the tale, Gary. I mean, I already know the cops are racist here, but I've experienced racism from police as well. When I got randomly pulled, because this was just after the 7/7 attacks. When I was going on the tube and they randomly pulled me for just checks and stuff like that, I knew they didn't fucking randomly pull me. I know the fact that I'm Asian and they think I'm a potential terrorist. You know what I mean? It was so obvious. When I went to America, they randomly checked me, even though I was with my white mate Ray. They never checked him. They checked me instead. I could have brainwashed Ray, given him my WMDs and tell him to blame stuff for Allah. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
listen, Sorry,
yeah.
Sam.
I'm just saying. I'm just to finish off here. I'm just saying, when it comes to like Islamic terrorists, if these fundamentalists genuinely wanted to do another terrorist attack, just send a blue-eyed, blonde-haired fucking Muslim to do it, because they'll never fucking look twice at the cunt.
Right.
Yeah. Again, like in the 90s, where shit was at its peak. The amount of times, so the Hendon Training Police Station, you know where that is, Sam. So my cousin, he lives
on the corner
on the estate, which is right there, Grand Park Estate. So he lives right next to where the police station is. Every fucking week when we get in the car with Ben is black, his two brothers are black, and it was me, my cousin, two brothers, and him. Guess who they didn't search? And guess who they searched? It wasn't me. It wasn't my cousin. It was the three black guys they would search. And it got so ridiculous to the point where anytime we see the police car at the back, Ben will pull over, get out of his car, put his arms on the hood, and his brothers will follow suit and be like, just go do what you got to do so I can get to my fucking party. That's how ridiculous it is over here as well, And shit hasn't changed. Shit hasn't changed. And it's not even if you're black. Even if you're Turkish, like looking like, that kind of complexion, that Greek looking and all of that, because they're boy racers and so they associate boy racers with having drugs on them, they'll pull them over. And
if they pull over a car with a woman and a guy in it, or a bunch of chicks, they'll search the guy.
No, I've never, in all the times that we've been pulled over, I've never been searched by the police. Never. They've searched my friends. They've never searched me. And I'm the fucking one out of all of them lot that's been arrested 8 times.
Yeah.
understand how bad a judge of character they are. You know, of course, I don't proper because I was fat with glasses and all of that. But I was the violent one in the group. I was a drunken idiot of the group. They were pussies. You know what I mean? I don't mean that in a. I mean they were really just genuinely nice people. I was the psycho in the group. But
they were
I was the one
pussycats.
getting fucking profiles.
They were just pussycats, right?
They're pussycats. You know what I mean? They were just lovely. Wouldn't harm a fly.
Do you remember there was these two kids in the shopping mall? One was black, one was white. They had a fight, and it was the white kid who was actually more of the bully, and he was like throwing his weight around a little bit. And then him and the black kid ended up having a fight. The mall cops came along, immediately just grabbed the black kid and put him in handcuffs and took him away. Like the white kid was like wondering, what the fuck? Why am I not being arrested right now? And even though the white kid was the instigator, he actually stood up for the black kid eventually. Because he thought, what the fuck's going on? This ain't right. You know, like I should also be arrested too. But they didn't even give him a second glance. They just grabbed the black kid, arrested him straight away. You know, they racially, even though the black kid was the one defending himself because the white kid was the instigator. But, you know, they don't give a shit. He's black, so he's going to get arrested. And another thing as well, Chelsea Football Club, they had to give the Met Police the license plate numbers of all their black players. Because they were constantly
been arrested 8 times.
They were constantly getting pulled over by the cops because they were driving. These black guys are driving very fancy cars. You know what I mean? So they're getting constantly people like Willian when he was playing for Chelsea, always getting, you know, with his big fucking afro and shit like that. You know, they're wondering, how does a guy like this, looking like this, driving a car like that, and you're getting pulled over all the fucking time. And eventually the Met Police had to give the license plates to the cops. And when the cops saw the license plates, they knew that this is a rich black man and we should leave him the fuck alone. You know, I mean, he's not, you know, so it's just racial profiling big time by our cops too. It's just how it is. And it's very unfortunate. And I don't get this comment, by the way, by TLD. If they don't get a cookie for doing their job, then why should they get a turd for someone else not doing theirs? I mean, that's some American jargon I'm not sure about. Can someone explain that to me?
If they don't get a cookie for doing their job, then why should they get a turd for someone else doing theirs?
Why don't they stop those turds who are breaking the law right in front of them and turn them in? So that no cookie for you. And thanks for pointing me out there, guys. Remember the video of the black woman being chased around the underwear store?
Yes.
In the States?
Yes.
Like for 10, 15 minutes. And she keeps saying, call mall security. And she had every right, by the way, because this woman had been touched, hit, and struck by this white lady several times to have defended herself. But she didn't. She just kept videoing because she knew that she needed evidence just to prove that she was the victim. And still, when the mall cops arrived, they went right to her. It was, you're being trespassed. Thankfully, I think she's filing a lawsuit. The store clerks didn't step up and say, no, it's that one. It's that one that was on the floor, you know, pretending to have a seizure and a temper tantrum like a 4-year-old. And I don't mean to insult 4-year-olds, but that's how she was behaving. I mean, you've all seen this video, right?
I think so.
I've seen it.
I think so. I probably have so many Karen videos.
All right. So, sorry. I was just going to say a very personal story was when I was younger, I used to go to a hospital here that was closed down. And this, me and a black guy who was from Moorside, ended up like we just went. The guys there treated us to something. It was literally like a bullying or something like that. And he got treated differently than I did. I was like, why is that happening? And as soon as they found out it was dyspraxic, I got treated the same as he did. I was like, but there was about a good 10, 20 minutes when I didn't. And that's the first thing that clued me in that racist opinions exist. It's like, I thought we were done with that. Because I generally thought, and I still do think, it's a thing of the past, or should be a thing of the past.
Should be, it's not.
No, but Gary, even no offense, Gary, but even you sometimes can fall
In
for it.
America,
As we were
they
talking,
suck at
even
profiling, mate.
even people who even I've fallen for it sometimes as well. I sometimes generalize. You've generalized. We talked about the fucking Barstool Sports thing and how I had to dissect it to you that they were being racist by saying he was spraying fucking bullets. We make that fucking mistake ourselves, Gary. Even I do it.
No. If it's another black guy, I don't do the same thing. I'd be absolutely with you.
You know what?
I just want to say, Rick B, in my defense, I deserve to get arrested each of those times. So I'm not shitting on the cops for arresting me. I'm shitting on the cops for stop and searching my friends and treating them like second-class citizens. What I did, I deserve to get arrested. And the fact I've only ever been cautioned once, where on 2 occasions I should have been thrown in for GBH. But the other person didn't press charges, nor did they stick around. So I was just let off with a warning. So in my case, fine. But in my friend's case, no, it's not right.
I was in Camp Landing down in Florida, and every meal there is served in a cafeteria. Just so unhealthy. The soldiers eat, bacon and eggs for breakfast, burgers for lunch and dinner. And I'm sitting at a table with my peers, a bunch of Canadians. We came down there for 3 weeks to do a bunch of driving jobs, moving ammunition from one base to another. And we're eating lunch. I think it was lunch or breakfast. And these 2 big old white boys come up to me and they look at me. I happen to be the only white woman at the table. What are y'all sitting there for? And I'm like, because I'm eating? No. What are you sitting there for? And I'm thinking, these guys are fucking stupid. I'm eating. And they're like, by the 3rd time I glanced around, I'm like, oh, Sri Lankan, Jamaican, like, oh, and then boom, and I was like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, Cheeto has a great point here. Cody Rhodes did end racism when he had a mixed race baby. So,
I said to David Seaman.
Yeah.
Profiling is part of policing and fighting crime.
I've read that already. God, you're so fucking...
No. He said something. I thought I was looking at the pro-police one. I'm pro-police too, by the way, Rick B. I just want them to do their job right.
Pro-good police.
Yeah, we want them to do their job right. Yeah. I'm not saying cops, again, they're the ones that are getting exposed as being pieces of shit. So clearly it's a system that needs upending. I'm not saying we don't need them. So this one here, what is the root cause of this? What is the root cause of groups of youths running into shops, shoplifting? What is the root cause of this?
Poverty.
And that's the problem we never tackle. We always think straight away, bad guys doing bad things. Let's beat the shit out of them. Let's arrest them. What got them to that bit? And I'm not saying everyone's nice up until a point. There are some genuine pieces of shit out there. We've seen rich fucking people that'll just go around fucking raping women like there's no tomorrow and getting away with it. Okay, so there are genuine pieces of shit out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and it's all right, guys. I know you're just gonna say something that's blatantly obvious. I'm just saying these people making this comment need to know why this is happening. It's not us to tell them. They need to know. When you bring a comment like that into a conversation, you can't just, and I keep telling you, don't focus on the incident that happened now, the context, the history, how we got to this point. Why now is there a spate of shops getting robbed? Why now? You should know that. And there you go. And it's not shit obvious. Parenting, it's poverty. It's poverty. Yeah. And this constant need for consumerism to feel like you're somebody, because we've grown people up in a consumerist society where we keep pulling in the say, if you don't have the latest, the latest new shirt, the chain, the trainers and all this kind of shit, or sneakers for the American audience, you're nobody. You're garbage without your material goods. And add that with poverty, you create this FOMO sensation, that's fear of missing out, and people will go to any lengths, just like they would with drugs, to get that fix, to feel like a somebody. And when the root cause of the majority of our problems in this society, suicide, marriage is breaking down, robberies, theft, is poverty. It is this current system of neoliberalism that is driving us to be poorer now than we were in Victorian times in the UK. There is a higher rate of poor people now here in the UK than there was in Victoria times. And what's worse is we're doing fuck all now to help people than we were back then. Because back then, the moralists, the Christians, were the ones that took it upon themselves to say, this rate of poverty cannot be. We need to do these poor houses, these DOS houses and all this kind of shit to feed people, get them out of poverty and all this kind of shit. I can't hear you, Christine.
Christine, you're muted.
Let me see if I can.
You muted, Christine.
Well,
DOS houses? I thought those were different. Don't you mean workhouses?
No, DOS houses.
No, DOS houses where people could go after and just kind of like, instead of being out in the streets and they get fed and it's a place to kind of sleep.
Youth centers and stuff like that. But
no, I'm talking back in the Victorian house era.
Like kids just got nothing to do. Like they've got no money, they've got nothing to do during the summertime when a lot of this shit happens. When the kids are off school, you see like in the streets of Oxford Street them getting raided and stuff. And I've always said, like the devil, the idle mind is the devil's paradise. And so when these kids have got nothing to fucking do, they end up doing the wrong fucking thing, and it becomes this vicious circle. Daniel Vance has said it here perfectly. Store robberies of that type keep happening because there's so little to go on when everyone wears a mask. Cops see it as low priority, so it continues. I mean, but at the same time, Daniel Vance, not only are these kids masked up and stuff like that, they're doing it for it. When you're that young, you do stupid things for excitement as well. A lot of the times you can get away with it. And plus we live in the social media world as well, where people are fucking filming themselves doing it, which is fucking ridiculous. They're filming themselves committing crimes. Probably the best thing to happen, the best thing to come out of social media, because people are so fucking stupid. They want clout. Yeah.
Right, Rick. Right, white people commit crimes at a higher rate than black people do. Sorry for that truism. It's true. Okay, because we are the majority of the population. Okay, right, and this is the thing that I cannot stand. Right, the reason this happens, as you agree was the same, was because of poverty. Now, I disagree with him that things are worse, are better than, because there's things in Victorian times that are horrible, like paupers prisons. Like, for example,
I'm just talking about the rates of poverty, just the rates of poverty, not conditions, not rights, just the rates of poverty. Are worse now.
Right, but I think, as I said, I think that what's going to happen is that there's going to be a tipping point here, because we're going to a point where there's going to be a revolution. Okay, because people have had enough of being poor, and there's going to be. No, there is. There's going to come a tipping point, and it's going to be.
I think we've become too fat and apathetic, mate. I think we've been stuffing so much junk food that we can't fucking get off our chairs.
People are too pacified, especially in this country. We're just fucking walkovers.
We're not France. In France, they do everything they want. They do everything they can when it comes to going against the government. We fucking bend over and take it every time.
Yeah, Christine.
When I was a kid, the government and everyone in the States goes on and on about how socialist we are. But as a kid, we had day camps. So if your parents couldn't afford to send you to summer camp, you started day camp at like 9 a.m. till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And some, 18-year-old trying to make a few bucks would take.
No, they got her.
No.
They got her. The damn Canadian.
Take about 5 kids out every day to the park and do crafts, and it kept us busy.
Yeah.
And it was perfect. I mean, what a small amount of investment in your kids to keep them, their minds active, in arts, socializing, physically active because they're going to the park and not committing crimes. And not just not committing crimes then, but in future as well. But no, our tax monies are being wasted. No, they're being invested, and at a great return rate.
A fantastic return rate. When it's
I
time and
can't
time
hear
has
you.
shown.
I can't hear you, Ginger.
Oh,
you hear me?
Zam, you speak.
I can hear you,
I
Ginger.
still can't hear you.
It's you. It's
No,
you, Chris.
I can hear him.
It's you.
I can't hear anyone. Hold on.
It's you. I
Okay,
want to
so
quickly get.
some
If you don't
some
mind.
yeah, no, that's fine. I want to get some quotes here. So the parents need to control their kids. Easier said than done for some people who have to work hard, but to an extent, yes, you can't absolve them of everything. But you know, we've seen just as many rat scabby little chavs cause fucking havoc and destroy neighborhoods as anyone else. And this one is fucking spot on. This is absolutely like the
Yeah,
British
that's what I
can't
said
be
earlier.
start revolution. They have X Factor, and I'm a celebrity to watch. Yeah,
And they're
you
too busy
forgot Love
smoking their
Island though.
No, but they're too busy smoking their 20 a day and eating fish and chips. They're too fat and lazy, you know, because they become apathetic over the years, you know, to do something that's really revolutionary. Plus, there's too much infighting and conflict between different groups. You know, some of these motherfuckers are actually fighting for the very people that's oppressing them. They're too stupid to realize that. On top of that, with TLD saying, with social media, you can film yourself committing a crime and make more money off views. That's initial crime could be a write-off. Initially, but like Mizzy, the guy Mizzy, he would film himself committing crimes, and he was under 18 at the time, so he was always getting away with it and getting a slap on the wrist. But he's now got such a backlog, a catalog of committing crimes by trespassing into people's homes, stealing people's fucking dogs, telling girls if they want to die and stuff like that. These so-called pranks.
Punch guy. Throat punch.
No, not throat punch guy. Like he would go up to girls saying,
would throat punch him.
Yeah. But he was basically he's offering girls hair dye, but he's telling them, "Do you want to die?" You know what I mean? And that's just scary when this kid would just come up to you saying that you want to die. But regardless, he was under 18 at the time, and he's always getting away with this shit. He's now over 18, and he's in fucking jail. And if you keep giving yourself a catalog of crimes being committed, and you're filming yourself doing it, eventually it won't be profitable because your ass is behind fucking bars, and it's going to remain behind bars longer each time you fucking do one of these things.
Yeah. No, I call him throat punch guy because if he came up and touched my hair and said, "You want to die?"
Yeah,
I'd throat punch him.
He's a coward. You could tell that he's picking people he feels that are timid and weak. He knows what he's doing, and so he's an absolute fucking coward. And a lot of these people who fucking try to prank people on the streets and stuff like that, when they're just being antisocial, they one day, some of them have picked the wrong person. I know that one guy in the shopping mall who got shot, and me and Shredder did complain about that, but I personally wish that fucking guy, when he did shoot him, had finished the job. Unfortunately, the prankster lived to tell the tale, so
he doesn't even care that he got shot. I mean, the balls on that fucking guy, man.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he hasn't learned the fucking thing.
Great example of what Rick was saying. The parenting on that, like the mum, like he's sitting there doing all this shit and interviewing, like, yeah, whatever, bro, and the mum's just fucking laughing along with it. I'm like, you stupid bitch, your son got shot. But you also didn't care for the fact that the amount of people he was going out harassing in the fucking streets. It's just ridiculous.
I watched a video the other day. A 13-year-old girl had the cops, she was in jail, called on her because she was extremely intoxicated, had a bottle of booze in her pocket. And she's like, yo, fuck the police and fuck you, cholo, this, cholo, that. I'm going to kick your ass. You can't fucking do nothing. Meet me outside kind of chick, right? And they finally, they were waiting for her to touch someone. You could tell, right? She touched a teacher. Boom! Cuffs down to the ground. And normally I'm not into that sort of shit. It's like de-escalate. You don't need to put someone on the ground. Don't do it. But I was like, she's never been told no in her life. Right? She needs a wake-up call. And then you know why later, because her mommy shows up. Get my daughter out of the cuffs. She didn't do anything. How about, why is my daughter in cuffs? What happened? She's extremely intoxicated. She's so drunk, she could have died from alcohol poisoning. That's how drunk she was. No, that never came up.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
as she's released into her mom's custody, you're walking out of the school, and the little bitch is yelling at her mom, "Why didn't you get here faster? Why'd you let them do that to me?" And then there's a tape of the mom calling the police station to make a complaint later.
And that girl will end up on fucking OnlyFans and just make a mint because she's like, "Hey, look, I'm that drunk girl from this," and like, just like the Catch Me Outside girl who just made an absolute fucking fortune.
If I were there, I'd be like, "Oh, let's go. Let's go outside, little girl. I will catch you outside. Let's see. You've got a big mouth. Let's see how big you really are, because you're not."
Yeah, you petite, I crush you.
I keep telling myself I need to do OnlyFans, man.
Do you know that reference?
Yeah, you should do it, Zam. Yeah, I crush you. Yeah, Zam, you should do OnlyFans.
I really want to do OnlyFans, but I'm just you have to
hold
pay
your
to
bird in front of your crotch.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing any of that. But I'm just saying, like, I would show my crotch. I was thinking like shots of my belly, like really sticking it out and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
So you're gonna go for the demographic of people who like a bit of belly fat. I mean,
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, but I want to make sure I make money. I need to make money.
She's in her 20s now, isn't she? So that doesn't really matter if she's out. I don't really give a fuck about her, you know.
I mean, I'm happy to show my ass crack and all of that. You know, whatever makes money doing that, and it's totally legit and it's
unwashed.
Totally legal.
You'll get a few freaks like that as well.
Oh, the thing is, but that's the problem.
Sometimes, you know what I mean?
No, because I personally couldn't do that. You know, like when I habitually I have to, even my birds are laughing. Even I have to fucking habitually wash and clean my ass. Yeah. When I'm done, and I just like wipe my ass. I clean it. I wash it. You know what I mean? So
we know, man.
But if someone offered you £1,000, mate, you leave that thing unwashed.
But I would have to figure out a way of not getting any fucking shit particles on my furniture and bed and stuff like that, because that'll be bugging me. I would have to.
Welcome to the world's gone insane. We have gone insane. We're putting shit-filled asses in smeared furniture.
We could just throw.
We call ourselves the aristocrats.
I wouldn't do anything. Look, I wouldn't do anything in my car because I've got now CCTV in my car, so there's no chance of me doing anything in my car. But I don't want it to be caught on fucking camera in my car and I lose my fucking job. And I still need my day job regardless. Yeah, but exactly. I'll do that. You know, I'll happily do the Kamala look. You know, I mean Kamala porn or whatever, man. You know. You go like this, you know, like me, like this. Oh, baby, you know what I mean? I'll do it. Man. You know,
I don't know how much he's going to be charging us, but please line up. Yeah,
honestly, no, but I want to do stuff like that if it means me making millions of fucking pounds. If I can make millions of fucking pounds, I'll do it. You know, happily.
But I need to know that anyone that does it. You know what I mean?
If I had the body for it, I mean, I wouldn't do anything very extreme, but I would do, tease, burlesque kind of thing. If that made me money on there, why not?
Chris, you're already halfway there. You're a woman. You're already halfway there. You know what I mean?
Get rid of CCTV camera and do your version.
The rest will be easy.
What?
I can't get rid of it, for fuck's sake.
She should do what? Was it wasn't Adrian? It wasn't Adrian. It was the friend of Thunder thought the female one with the brunette hair? Did she do that, something like that?
Do what? Do what? Is that?
Yeah. Did she do something like that? I heard that she did something like that. Yeah, she made money doing it. Fair enough. I mean, she wasn't my cup of tea, but hey,
I'm surprised actually Banks hasn't done it.
If it's done well, burlesque.
She's got an OnlyFans. Just doesn't do fuck all with it.
I think
she doesn't pose nude. She's a prude.
Yeah,
I mean, I call her a prude. That's horrible.
But if you do burlesque really well, it can look really sexy, in my opinion.
Do what?
Oh yeah,
burlesque is sexy, man.
Burlesque done well.
Oh yeah. My god, burlesque is. Yeah, we went to a burlesque show in Camden for somebody's
I'm
birthday.
actually going to do some burlesque here because I'm getting a bit more.
Go on, Gaz. Hey! Show those nipple tassels.
Fuck it.
Burlesque is lovely. Like,
Woo!
honestly.
Gary's getting hot under the collar.
Yeah.
No, I was just getting really warm because it's really warm. I've left my radiator on, so it's really warm here.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, tune into NerdTube's OnlyFans where you don't know what the fuck you're going to get. And on that note, let's move on.
I want to do my quiz.
Go,
Okay,
Chrissy.
let's do your quiz. We've got people here in the chat.
Go, Chrissy.
Okay. No cheating. Write down your answers. There's multiple choice.
Okay.
Okay.
Get my phone out to write down the answer. 1 second.
Okay.
I'm gonna type. You're gonna hear typing, but it's just words. It's not cheating or googling.
All right. The 2 official national sports of Canada are A, golf and snowshoeing, B, ice hockey and curling, C, lacrosse and ice hockey, or D, baseball and lacrosse. Write down your answer.
Okay. Don't give the answers yet, guys. Just write it down.
Yeah. What is the nickname?
Same in the comments. Don't put the answers in the comments.
Right.
Keep them to yourself. I know you lot can probably.
Yeah,
Google it,
I'm gonna fucking hide the comments. Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
All right, I'm hiding it for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the nickname of the $1 coin? Is it A, single, B, loony, C, toonie, or D, ducky? Tell me when I can move on. What leaf is on the Canadian flag? Is it A, maple leaf, B, willow leaf, C, pine needle, or D, oak? Hold on. Now, these are easy questions. The Inukshuk, this is a little more difficult. The Inukshuk is made of A, wood, B, stone, C, fabric, and D, plastic. And there's a bonus point in here if you...
Can you repeat it again?
Yeah. The Inukshuk is made of A, wood, B, stone, C, fabric, or D, plastic. Bonus points if you can write down what an Inukshuk is.
I was gonna say, what the fuck is it?
Just like a line about maybe what it looks like. Okay.
All right.
If you really want an extra bonus point, you can write down what it's used for. Those were hard. Those are hard ones. Okay. Name the symbol that is associated with the French Canadian heritage. Is it A, la blanc, B, la fleur de lis, C, la rose royale, or D, la rose margrethe?
God, I thought you were gonna say poutine.
That's the
Can you repeat it, please?
That's the unofficial one. Okay. A, la blanc, B, la fleur de lis, C, la rose royale, or D, la rose margrethe?
Oh, okay.
What was the second one?
Fleur de lis. Nickname for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Is it A, Royals, B, Horsemen, C, the Fuzz, or D, Mounties? If you need me to repeat anything, just ask. Okay. Shall I go on?
Yes, please.
All right. Canada's national colors are A, red and white, B, red, white, and blue, C, red and green, or D, red and blue. And I have a tiebreaker if there's a tiebreaker. Okay. The final question is the title of the Canadian anthem is A, God Save the Queen, B, O Canada, C, Canadian Trilogy, or D, Baby It's Cold Outside. Now, I know that was an even number of questions, but I've got a tiebreaker, so
Yeah,
and
it's
those
all good.
and those bonus questions. So, all right, do you want to go through the answers?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. The two national sports of Canada are lacrosse and ice hockey.
Yeah, I got that.
Oh.
C.
Yeah.
That was C.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. Because
I've
yeah,
got
hold
hockey
on,
and curling.
Just to make sure it's fair, so nobody can necessarily disagree with what you're saying. You should ask us which one it is, and then
Yeah.
tell us what it is. If it's A, B, C, or D.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Alright,
why
First one wrong. I
lacrosse.
put hockey and curling for the first
Yeah.
one.
I
That
put
would
hockey
be
and,
the
lacrosse-
second
lacrosse.
closest. But
Yeah.
it's lacrosse because that's a native Canadian sport.
Okay.
Okay. The nickname of the loonie. Sorry,
Okay,
the $1 coin.
I initially went with A, but I've changed it to B, so I'm B for the loony.
So how am I supposed to do it again, Zam? How
No,
am I
you gave the answer. You said, "Is it?" You should ask
Read
us.
the
is it
question
A,
out
B,
and
C?
then come to us for the answer.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
what leaf is on our flag? Ginger.
I put A. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, maple leaf.
A.
Zam
A. Maple leaf.
and Gaz.
Maple Leaf.
Correct. Inukshuk is made of ginger.
I put wood.
Zam.
I put D, which is plastic.
Gaz.
I put B. I put metal.
Put what?
Metal. B.
B is stone.
Well.
Okay.
B. I put B.
B is correct. It is made of stone.
Oh, right.
We'll get back to the bonus parts of those in a minute. Name the symbol associated with French Canadian history in Canada. Ginger?
So I was stuck between two, but I think maybe Le Fleur de
Is it A, B, or C?
B.
Or D.
B. I think that was.
Le Fleur de Lis.
Yeah, that's it. Le Fleur de Lis.
Zam?
I've got it written there. But I was going to say Le Fleur de Lis. You just got murdered behind you, Zam.
Yeah, my painting falling down again. I put C. My
The
birthday.
Rose
Shit.
Royale?
Yeah.
What did you put, Gaz?
I put B. The Fleur de Lis.
B is correct.
Hey!
The
Right,
nickname
calm down.
of the Canadian Mounted Police. Gaz, what did you get?
Mounties D.
Yeah. And
I put D for
Zam?
Mountie. D for
Yep.
Mountie.
Ginger?
Mounties, yeah.
Yeah. The Canadian national colors are Zam,
A, red and white.
Gaz,
A.
and Ginger.
Not bad.
I lost everyone for a second.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
B.
Okay.
Well,
Ginger, what's your answer, dude?
What was that one for?
Yeah, Canadian national colors.
Oh, Canada.
Canadian national colors.
Yeah.
Oh, Canada, red and white. Sorry.
Yeah, you guys got that right. And the title of the Canadian national anthem, Zam?
B.O. Canada.
Yeah, Gaz?
B.
Ginger? Okay, what were your scores so far?
I got
I
one,
got
two,
two. I
four,
got 6
five,
out of 8.
six.
I got 6 out of 6 out of 8.
Okay, six for Zam. Gaz?
I've got 5.
Ginger?
6.
All right, we got a tie. Remember when I talked about the $1 coin?
Yeah.
Does anyone know what we call our $2 coin? Write it down.
Okay. I got it.
Okay. Are you both done?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
And the answer is
It's
Ginger.
Toonie. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Oh, Toonie.
Okay, we need another tiebreaker. The Inukshuk, as we now know, is made of stone. Does anyone know what is the shape of these stones look like? What is it supposed to look like?
Okay, well, I'm a bit worried that whatever answer I give, Ginger will give, and I could do the same. So, how do we do this? Shall I write it down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very rough representation of
Okay. I think I've got it.
okay. Ginger, what do you think it is?
Sammy, you stop typing?
Yeah.
I'll put my hands up. Map of Canada.
Zam?
Sam?
Oh, I got oval.
It's a human being.
Oh,
Oh, right. Oh.
It's a native symbol made out of stone where it has like stone legs, stone hips, stone body, stone shoulders, and a stone head. And it's meant to represent we're here, and the arms point in a direction because it's all like white tundra, where to go if you need to find a place to be saved because you're freezing to death.
Well, they learned what an Inukshuk is.
Inukshuk. So you guys did very well. I'm very proud of all of you.
Thank you.
We do have a tie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Zam, high five.
But Gaz, you did well too.
No, wrong way.
Gaz, did you know about the Toonie, Gaz?
I didn't, sorry.
No? Okay. Did you know anything about the Inukshuk? Because I know you weren't a part of that.
I think I got the stone one, but I didn't know what it was in the shape of human body.
Yeah, you were the only one who knew it was stone for sure.
How
How did everyone do in the
Yeah.
comment section? Rick
How do
Beer,
our
what 10
audience
out of
do?
10? What even big question?
Hey, oval as well. Oh, Rick B got human body. Toonie, yeah.
Hello,
Hello,
Jim.
Jim.
Well, that was lovely. Now then, from quiz to lists. If you've been living under a rock,
I think I want to get to something a little bit more lighter before we get on to that one.
Sure.
I want to talk about the 13-year-old kid who beat Tetris, the game which has been on the Nintendo for 35 years, and he beat Tetris. And you know what? The funny thing is that maybe other people have beaten Tetris as well, but we'll never know because it was never filmed. He filmed it, and because it's recorded, he showed that he beat a game that has never been beaten before on film. And we know that because the game crashed, but it wasn't able to continue scoring because he reached a level of scoring that was unachievable after what he
It was a kill
achieved.
screen.
yeah, it was Rick. It was very adorable.
And I just want to quickly show you the incident when it happened because it's just so awesome. seeing this young man. Sorry. Unfortunately, we get copyrighted if we show a bit of Sky.
Yes.
Unfortunately, because I want to show this one woman too, but
Yeah, show Sky News.
Oh, this is MSNBC. Damn, I don't want to show
They'll
them either.
fucking copyright us as well.
Oh no, sorry. Oh, there's Jeffrey Epstein. My bad. There we go. Let's try this one.
There we go. Yep, that's fine.
Oh
my god! Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Look at the score. It's awesome. It can't go any further.
999. Jesus Christ!
I mean, the skill that would have gone into achieving
I'm
that.
eating my camera.
Okay.
I just want to see that one more time. Look at the speed it's going down those blocks. Bam.
Oh my god!
And see, he's got glove
Yeah.
to do the rolling and to avoid the blisters. Now, there's a lot of skill involved.
Oh my god!
This kid is gonna blow up as the next big thing on like Twitch and video game streaming. He's gonna have so many followers because of this.
Yes.
Well, the thing is as well, the reaction he got from Sky News is only going to help him because that City Cow's basically
I'll be right back.
condescending and basically arrogant, belittling.
What do you expect from a Rupert Murdoch rag? You know?
Yeah.
So
reaction to that, like absolute condescending twat.
Like you would have
It backfired on her massively.
There was a while when people who were famous through the internet, whether it be YouTube or Twitch or whatever, they were mocked by television channels. I remember KSI was mocked a lot. Now he's bigger than all of those motherfuckers combined. And this kid was mocked by a member of Sky News, saying that you should get out more and all of that sort of stuff. And she's been absolutely ripped apart on social media, and rightly so, because know your fucking role, lady, and shut your fucking mouth. You know, as The Rock would say.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, she was joking. I do agree. She was taking, but what she was doing in her joking is she was taking the piss and belittling the achievement of what this kid has done that nobody has done in 35 years. So you don't take the piss out of something like that. You fucking applaud it. You know, it was absolutely amazing what that kid done.
And it's not like just a Super Mario's type game, which would be fine too, but it's a visual, mathematical, you have to put thought into it. It's a technical game and speed.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's a whole technique, like they call like rolling and all this kind of stuff, like to kind of cope with the speed of it. And it's just incredible to crash a game, crash it because you beat it. And one of the other sad parts is Tetris is 35 years old.
I remember when it came out, and one guy in the class had it, and everyone would beg him to play it during class.
Oh, that was the Game Boy version. The arcade version came out, a bit before that. But yeah, on the Game Boy, still one of my favorite games on the Game Boy. It's just awesome. Simple yet brilliant. And the music, fantastic.
You'll never that tune. You don't forget that tune.
I don't think that's copyrighted. But
well done to that kid.
They made a movie out of that, with Taron Egerton and a few other people regarding that video game. It's a big deal, and like I said, 35 years and it's never been beaten. Like seriously, you got to really give this kid plaudits. He's 13 years old. He was like this game was been around while he was still swimming in his dad's ball sacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
when you're eating chips, can you mute while you're chewing? Thanks.
So I'm very happy that the internet came down on this on this woman. She will learn not to take the piss out of gamers ever again. You know what I mean? And that's what's
To
so
feel
good
the
about
wrath of a bunch of middle-aged men that have accomplished nothing. To quote it.
No, it's not
Exactly.
nothing. It's an alternative lifestyle.
Yeah, it's an alternative lifestyle of accomplishing nothing,
Exactly.
but still raging at somebody. She's a good presenter.
Oh, not that good.
Presenter and Sky Sports do not go together. Sky News, Sky Sports, yes.
Yeah.
Tetris is on everything that I can download the game on. Yeah.
I've been playing Tetris.
I had it on mobile. I had it on the Game Boy, PC.
Play it on your phone. You know what I mean? It's so easy. Yeah.
Nokia phone. You know. So okay, lovely. That was wonderful. So I can cross that one off the list. We've done Barstool. So the Epstein list has been released, and it was a bit fucking frustrating.
Is it a list of people
to kind of find it, because it was like there was so much bollocks.
What's the list
mainstream media to release it?
Is it a list of his black book? Who's been to his island? What do you mean by list?
Well, there's just a list of names on it.
Is it cloud list? So people who, yeah.
There are a couple of names there that really upset me. I mean, there's obvious ones there for sure. Like before you pull out the list, I mean, I was reading on Twitter how this one guy feels that everyone on the left is, he's basically trying to play a centrist role, saying the right are defending Donald Trump and the left are defending Bill Clinton. No, the left don't give a shit about Bill Clinton. They're happy to fucking bury him if he has been found to be a part of Epstein's circle and he's been kiddie fiddling, then he should fucking burn. But when it comes to Donald Trump, even though there's tons of videos of him hanging around with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, they don't give a flying fuck. The argument is that him and Epstein fell out many years ago. Well, even if they did fell out many years ago, and it was over property, by the way, not necessarily kiddie fiddling, they obviously did a lot of bad shit while they were still friends. And Donald Trump even mentioned about how he's a great guy, and he likes beautiful women just as much as I do, and some of them are on the younger side. He's saying that he obviously knows what Epstein was up to. The flight logs as well. He's been to Pedo Island at least 7 fucking times. He's been with the shows that he's been on his plane 7 times. And there's like I said, there's so many photographs and clips of them two together, like, and the fact that people are the MAGA cult still want to call other people pedophiles and exonerate Trump and try not to put the pieces together. It's disturbing. It really is.
Anyone on that list is Go on, Christine, before I talk.
And the fact that staff from that island have said it's not hidden. So if Trump was there 7 times, it's not like he could say I didn't see anything.
Yeah. And the figures is good to emphasize, we're not fucking defending anyone on this list. Fuck anyone that was on that island and knew what was going on.
And there's a lot of people on that list who left me very disappointed, because I didn't think I would see that person on that list. There's people like not Gwyneth Paltrow. What's her face? I keep forgetting her name. Her first movie was In the Mask, and she's been in being John Malkovich. She was in The Mask. She was in being John Malkovich in Vanilla Sky, Night and Day.
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz is on that list. Kate Blanchett's on that list. There's a lot of women on that. There's a lot of women on that list, which is kind of surprising. It's not just men. There's a lot of women on that list too, which is shocking. It's kind of, and Stephen Hawkins as well. I couldn't believe it, man, when I heard about that one. I
don't know how true the fetish stuff is, but it's fucking hilarious if true. Where he wanted little people on a tall chalkboard trying to do maths equations or something like that. I was like, what is that a fetish, or is that just him trying to feel better about himself?
And another name which really upset me, because I thought a lot of this guy, but fuck him if he's on that list, and I do mean fuck him, is Noam Chomsky. I heard Noam Chomsky's on that list too. And if that's the case,
I think it's
then
as well. Just to be clear, it's were they on the list? Did they all go to the island? Were some of them just there because of Epstein would have had connections to like businesses and money and powerful people? So it's not. It's like, for example, again. But then we found out that I mean, the biggest damning evidence was the fact that fucking Epstein worked with the Israeli government and Mossad to kind of get a lot of powerful people on these lists and to blackmail them into doing what they to doing their bidding. So there's photos of the former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak or something like that. I think his name was. I said Ehud Mubarak before. That was fucking stupid. But he's photographed coming out of Epstein's mansion. So yeah, Hawkins was there because he was attending a science conference. Well, it still doesn't explain the midgets and the maths, but
that could have just been a story to make fun.
Yeah, it could be bollocks. We don't know, but
yeah, I'm just saying that we shouldn't really be going off what people are saying because again, like until the actual list comes out, we're basically spitting into the wind, basically. But
yeah, I mean the one certainty we have so far is Prince Andrew.
Yeah,
that's the one certainty we have.
And you know what the funny thing is, Donald Trump, said that prior to recently he's never met Prince Andrew before, and that's such a lie. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I find it so upsetting that so many people fucking love Donald Trump when he lied all the fucking time, because there's countless pictures going back to the fucking 90s of them two together. They have hanged around together. Donald Trump is so full of shit. He just
yeah, exactly.
He does that all the time. I've never met this guy before. He probably said that about his son.
Listen, Stephen Hawking cheated on his very loyal wife with his carer. Okay, and he got married to his carer after divorcing his wife. So he was not a fucking saint.
Well, this is when he was signed to.
Just his brain was working just fine. His body might have shut down. Yeah. So yeah, he's not a saint. That's for sure.
Let's see the list.
Let's bring it up. Let me just whip this out. Right. Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, among the 100 people named on the newly published legal documents linked to the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. The disclosure of the first batch of court files include the names of victims, friends, and associates of the sex offender and Ghislaine Maxwell, although many others will have no direct link to Epstein. The millionaire financier who socialized with royalty and celebrities was accused of running a network of underage girls while waiting trial. He killed himself, sure. Yeah. The legal documents relate to a defamation lawsuit brought against Maxwell in 2015 and were published under a judge's orders on Wednesday. A second tranche of documents released on Thursday evening did not shed a great deal of new light on the case and included many of the names previously made public. A third tranche unsealed on Friday is currently being reviewed by the Independent. Inclusion of names does not indicate any wrongdoing related to Epstein or anyone else, and the list includes many of Epstein's accusers and alleged victims. Prince Andrew is included with the legal papers mentioning previously reported accusations that he groped Johanna Sjöberg, which he denies. Deny you want, mate. You don't pay $12 million if you're innocent. Former US President Bill Clinton and Donald Trump are also named, with neither accused of wrongdoing. Judges, court staff, and legal representatives are not included. So we have, Ghislaine Maxwell, former girlfriend and associate, Andrew Albert, Christian Edwards, fucking hell, what a name, Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, David Copperfield.
David Copperfield is a crazy one. I mean,
I'm not shocked.
I'm not shocked either.
Really?
No, I'm not shocked. But
let's just be clear as well. Again, none of these they're not exactly saying that they went on the island and did things. This is just people on a list.
This is my personal opinion, and they're innocent until proven guilty. That applies to everyone I'm about to speak to. But I'm not shocked because he always kind of creeped me out.
Yeah. Yeah, and the lucky bastard was married to Claudia Schiffer, so you know. John Connolly, New York police detective and investigative journalist who investigated Epstein.
Mm.
So obviously, you know, so
He
things like
got he
that.
sold
That's
out. Ethan.
no, it was probably on there because he was investigating Epstein. You know,
Oh, fair
Right.
enough. Okay, yeah.
Alan.
Alan Dershowitz is the one that I don't. You know, you might say innocent until proven guilty. Alan Dershowitz for me is guilty as fucking sin. And there's people who, if you saw the Epstein documentary on Netflix, where these girls who were allegedly molested by the people associated with Epstein, as well as Epstein themselves, Alan Dershowitz's name came up. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'll throw that motherfucker under the bus right now. I hate it. He's
And
a
the
cunt.
irony
He's
is, he
absolutely-
worked with he also worked with like Mossad and Israel to get dirt on other people, which is fucking ironic. Leonardo DiCaprio. Now that
Okay,
one's
yeah.
interesting.
Because he would have been,
Let's see
he
what
would have
that
been
one's
just, but he like, back in the 90s, he was just a kid, like when he was just a young man himself. So, what was his role?
but-
Was he there to?
I don't know. I don't think he bought the island until the 2000s.
No.
Yeah.
Fine,
After
but
the
I'm just saying, like,
privatization.
I mean, like he's just in his early 40s now. Over 20 years ago, he would have been in his early 20s.
Yeah, well, it depends if he fondled little kids. You know what I mean? Like,
That's still too
Yeah.
old.
it's still too old.
No, I'm just saying that maybe he was actually one of the kids, and not necessarily one of the servants.
Oh, I don't
So
know.
not one,
Yeah.
one of the bad people. Al Gore,
Yeah,
by the
we
way,
don't know.
there's an interesting one.
Al Gore, that's an interesting one.
Well, he was
I wouldn't be
he wa-
surprised if this one was financial more than anything.
No, but he was also Bill Clinton's vice president, so maybe he went with Bill Clinton on several occasions. Because they were he was his vice president at the time.
People
Yeah,
like
so-
that mix business with pleasure all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the fact is, if these people have gone onto the island, the minute you step foot on the island and you're aware of what's going on, fuck you. That's one thing we've got to always remember. So
Yeah.
Stephen Hawking with his weird fetish. This is it. Ehud Barak is a former Israeli prime minister. Michael Jackson, a famed musician known as the King of Pop.
Yeah.
And
I don't
they
know
found
if this applies. He liked little boys.
after he died, they
It's-
found the hidden room
Allegedly.
in his house with all this kiddie porn. So it's not alleged with him.
Well, that's
Oh,
an
really?
internet
Yeah.
story. There's never been
Verified.
Okay.
verified. Stephen Hawking was a regular at Stringfellow. So, that don't fucking surprise me. Remember when everyone, not me, jumped on Chris Jericho with no evidence, and now it seems it was a load of bollocks. Well, again, yeah, look, with Chris Jericho, he could continue on until something's proven otherwise. But there's a lot of stories that keep popping out about him getting other people to sign NDAs, and if he's never like, I hope the worst thing he's ever done was with Kylie Ray, where he had her in a room alone, made her feel uncomfortable, and she ran out, and nothing worse happened to it. But
Now-
there was Dupree that
And
came
he-
out with a history of saying Chris Jericho will make it his goal to fuck other people's girlfriends.
An NDA
he's
can't
not-
save you
That's not
from
illegal.
breaking a law. I mean, you can sign it, and if the law's broken against you, you don't have to abide by an NDA, right?
Yeah, if something happens, you can get out of the NDA, but you can also, if you go to court, you can get out of the NDA as well. So again, with Jericho, I really hope it's nothing like the Underworld or SA, because that's just fucking further heartbreaking. Marvin Minsky, no idea. Kevin Spacey.
Spacey.
Well, this one don't surprise me.
Not
No, again, it's
surprised at all.
girls rather than boys. George Lucas.
Fuck
That's a
yeah.
surprise.
Now this one, I have no idea what the fuck would he be doing on the island, or if he was just a client of Epstein's to do with money. I don't know. Or he likes him young. I don't know. Jean-Luc Brunel, French model agency. Yeah, whatever. Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, that's a shock. There's a lot of women on this list.
Naomi Campbell.
Okay.
Naomi
Yeah.
Campbell. Yeah, fucking hell.
Sharon Churcher, pretty sure.
Churcher, British journalist.
Bruce Willis. Right.
Willis.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
And again, just to reiterate, these are not necessarily people that went to the islands This could have just been like a client list, but you know, if they've gone on the island, like the minute you stepped on foot on that island, go fuck yourself. Bill Richardson, former governor of New Mexico. Cameron Diaz. Again,
There's
what
a
the fuck?
shocker.
Yeah. Eva Anderson Dubin, former Miss Sweden, once dated Epstein and her husband. All right. Okay, fair enough. Glenn Dubin, that's the husband. Noam Chomsky.
Yeah, but that
Beloved
one's
by
very
all of us, but if he's a
upset me
nonce,
there.
yeah. This is
Yeah,
the
if he's
worst one.
nonsense.
This one.
Yeah, so far.
Chomsky.
And he's
But-
been very secretive over it, by the way, which makes me feel he's guilty. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, when he's been pressed on it, he's been very dismissive and yeah, very like move on, none of your business kind of thing. It's like, well, if you're innocent, you know, this is why releasing along without evidence. Of course, look, we are purely being armchair judges here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We are. We're not hiding it. We're being dicks, but don't care. Tom Pritzker, oh yeah, tycoon. James Michael Ostrich, no idea. Juan and Maria Alessi, husband and wife working at the home. Janusz Banasiak served as a house manager.
The staff.
Bella Klein or Klen, documents former accountant. Okay. Leslie or Leslie Groff, Epstein's former secretary. Victoria Bean. So these ones here, these might be victims. If it doesn't say anything else, it might be victims. I don't know. Dr. Mona treated Virginia Roberts. Dr. Chris Donahue treated Virginia Roberts. So these must be the Rob Eppinger, sex trafficker.
That's his job. I'll put my like his
his
title
fucking
is
job.
sex trafficker.
Jesus
Shit.
Christ. Daniel Estes, no idea. Annie Farmer, she's an accuser. Louis Freach. Let's see, just go down to-
Fucking hell.
what's that, mate?
Former director of the FBI.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, this one don't surprise me. I don't know if he was investigating him or he was chummy with him. Celebrity hairstyle. I'll keep going down till I see something that pops out. So, we don't
So
keep
Daniel
going.
Vance regarding Bruce Willis, like he's not even there anymore, so he might legitimately not be able to recall. But he's not. He's I think he's suffering from dementia or something like that. So
Did that see it being played?
This oh, forget what it's called. It's like dementia, but it's called something else.
is it Alzheimer's?
No, it's
No,
not
no.
No, it's like some sort of like disease where you can't read or communicate.
Yeah, just Google Bruce Willis condition. Kimberly Roberts, isn't that a model?
No idea.
Yes. No, she was one of the
Nah, just a,
what's her name? Pussycat Dolls, sorry.
Haley Robson.
oh, well, it might be that. No, wait, that's not her, is it? Oh, the Pussycat Dolls. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking of Girls Aloud. Oh, possibly. Okay. Dave Rogers.
Kevin Thompson.
What?
Lex Wexner, founder of L Brand and a former business partner of Epstein. Daniel Vance mentioned him. Yeah, he lives in their neck of the woods, not far from Cheeto, I guess.
Look at that name.
Dr.
Wawa.
Oh, God. Okay, so all the kind of bigger names are at the top of the list. But that's the list, I think. Is there anything else?
Nope.
Mark Zafe, I think I've heard of him.
Decorator.
Courtney Wild, Sharon White.
I think this guy came up in the documentary.
Okay.
Decorator who did like the mansion up and things like that. But yeah, there you go.
You know,
Unfortunately, there's going to be people who will be guilty just by association and nothing more. And there'll be
Yeah.
people who have obviously done a lot of bad things.
Zam, can you get rid of your little window there of the Tetris kid?
I'm sorry, my bad.
and
Alright.
a lot of, I'm not saying all the women, but a lot of the women on that list could have been just invited to a party where they wanted really beautiful women and made sure that they kept the children and teenagers separate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
that might have
yeah.
happened.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. Yeah. There's like God knows. You've seen in the documentary how big the fucking mansion is, and everything could have kept separate. We don't know.
Or sent them on trips, you know, send the 16-year-olds down to like buy Prada while you have, and then put them up in a hotel. You've got millions, and then you have like Hollywood stars over because you're a narcissist and you want to be surrounded by famous people.
100%. Yeah, spot on. So yeah.
I'm not saying women can't be abusers. I'm just saying that might be the case for some of them. And some of the men. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with Kevin Spacey being there, wouldn't be surprised if some bloke got groped.
Yeah.
We know his fucking history.
He's admitted it. He has admitted to it.
Yeah, he's admitted to it, and plenty of people come out talking about it as well, not just the victims. You know, he may have got acquitted in a British court, but that's a British court. He hasn't been, nobody's tried him in the States and things like that. And our British courts, I've already mentioned before, they're absolute dog shit here for conviction rates when it comes to SA and RAPE. So I'm not surprised in the least.
And if you're rich and powerful, I mean, look at fucking Prince Andrew. He's the guy is guilty of sin, and nothing is ever going to happen to him. You don't even go to court. Nothing.
I want to say something you might find controversial, but I really have this strong belief, and I don't know how I can prove it to be true or not, but the conviction rate and the sentencing for people accused for SA are extremely low.
No.
And
That's right.
It makes me wonder why. Why are judges so lenient? Are they up to something?
Well, over here, it's because the minimum sentence for a first-time offender, it doesn't matter what the offence is, could only be, I think it's only 7 years. I want to say you can be a bit less than that. But also, you get off on good behaviour and stuff like that. So it could depend on what the crime is. But with SA, yeah, it's about, I think it's about 7 years, I think.
Yeah, but the law here is, again, like, we do have a very patriarchal system here when it comes to the law, and the way victims are treated compared to how the accused are treated. I'm not saying you should treat the accused like garbage unless they've been accused, proven guilty, but the way they grill the victims and all this kind of shit, like the kind of psychological wear down that it goes through, it puts a lot of people from coming forward to
as soon as someone says, "What were you wearing?" I don't care if I was fucking naked.
Yes.
I did not give permission. And that argument doesn't stand up anyway, because people that were nuns have been raped. People in burqas have been raped. So I shouldn't be using the word, right? Because we'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
And we
try
should
to avoid using that word.
We shouldn't get in trouble for using that word, because it is a word and it describes an action that is horrible, and we shouldn't skirt the issue. We should head straight onto it and tackle it. But unfortunately, some people are just snowflakes.
See, look, I mean, this goes to prove the point. Yeah, I've done jury service and several trials. One was an R trial, and only me and another woman believed the woman. Another woman was saying, like, she's lying because I've known women like her. Well, this is my point. And happy birthday, by the way, as well. Sucks having a birthday around the new year where everyone's broke, but happy birthday. And as it's your birthday, we're actually going to be bringing up an article now that Rick posted in Fanboy Rage page. And I did find this one quite interesting. So I'm going to add that to the stage. Let me go to the article. So it goes, don't blame us. Are James Bond trigger warnings really for audiences' benefits? So basically, they're going to be putting trigger warnings on James Bond films. To say like this thing contains this, this, and this. Do I need the article?
Don't they already do that? Like, this is an X-rated movie, contains smoking, violence. Like, what more do you need?
Yeah, so this one's going to be like, this may contain, stuff unsuitable for kind of modern audiences and it's from a different time and all this kind of shit. And it's like, does it need trigger warnings? No, it fucking doesn't. First of all, how many like Gen Z are going to actually fucking go and watch James Bond? You'll be lucky to get them to watch anything outside of Mr. Beast. Firstly, secondly, these are people that have grown up on the internet. They don't need fucking trigger warnings. They've seen way worse. And whoever's insisting on there being trigger warnings, you need to get out more. You need to live your life more because you're pathetic. And if it's just people making the assumption that there needs to be trigger warnings and I point it on there, you're also pathetic and you're making assumptions on other people's behalves. And there you go. Gaz.
I'm a huge James Bond fan. But I get it to a certain extent because, like, for example, in All Live Twice, he kind of, I don't want to say yellow face, but he kind of makes himself to be Japanese. So I can understand if you're from that demographic, that can be offensive.
It was the Japanese people who did it to him, though. They disguised him. He's a spy.
I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. I'm just saying if you're part of that community, I'm not. It may sit differently with you than with me, for example.
You can go the opposite direction. You can there's a True Identity, the film with Lenny Henry. Sorry, not Lenny Henry. Eddie Murphy. Lenny Henry. No, Lenny Henry.
No, Lenny Henry. Henry.
Where he's a comedian. He tried to crack America when he made that film. Wasn't successful, but he plays a guy who goes undercover as a white guy. There's White Chicks where the Wayne brothers pretend to be white people. There's Soul Man where C. Thomas Howell pretends to be a black person. Like these things have happened. It's most recently Tropic Thunder. What I want about with that one with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, it's like these things and even that was supposed to be taking a piss out of what he was representing. So it's just these things are just so fucking stupid. You know what I mean? They really are.
Look, I only say you should only put warnings on things that might trigger PTSD. So when it's something that covers heavy topics like RSA, suicide, things like that, things like that. Yeah, that's fine because that could genuinely trigger people's PTSD. With other things that are kind of a little bit culturally inappropriate, but of that era, not really, because I don't think somebody's head's gonna fucking explode if they see that kind of shit. And flashing lights as well. Always have warnings for flashing lights because we've known people that have had seizures. On films with flashing imagery, but that's about it. Other than that, if it's gonna trigger your sensibilities, then fucking grow a pair of balls.
And there's a huge difference between not liking something and being triggered. If you don't like it, maybe you find it offensive or you just think it's in bad taste, whatever. You're not hurt by it, but you don't like it. It's disgusting to you. You're not physically triggered. You just have made a decision and your moral compass says that's wrong. Get out of the theater, get your money back, and go blog about it online saying to the world how terrible it is.
Exactly. I mean, are they going to put trigger warnings on Friends next as well? Just because of its outdated humor? Because people have complained about Friends. It's like, it's a product of its time. Get over it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Have you seen the
movie about Dickens?
Sausage?
What about they use the word Uncle Tom in Tom Sawyer and the N-word. It's a product of its time. You can read the book and not say that word, and at the same time understand that's how the culture was back then. Doesn't make it right, but that's
the N-word freely in Tarantino films. Most recent ones, like the ones which are set in like, for instance, Django and the Hateful Eight. They'll send the N word several times in those movies, and they're great films. They're period movies, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it-
exactly.
And then even
Yeah.
Agatha Christie, if you read her books, there's some outdated language, how, you treat them like they're a black man, or I'm using actually pretty nice terms, but they're not said as nice as that. Or who's the N-word in the wood pile? Like, those terms were used. It, again, doesn't make them right, but that's what was written at that time in life. We know better now. If we ignore it, it might get repeated, because the whole forget your past, doomed to repeat it kind of thing.
Well, that's what I mean. And censoring the past as well doesn't help, because then you'll have people that grow up and to think, oh, things were always rosy and all this. So look at this lovely book here, and
No.
it's like, no, you got to know just how fucking things were. And I always say, like, people don't realize, like, again, like we always talk about here, like, it's always the kind of like, oh, left wingers are doing this and they want to censor it and SJWs, all that. And I can get that. They do that. The group of them that do complain, because art is going to be policed by every side of the spectrum. It's just common fact. People don't realize just how progressive cinema was in the 1920s and the 1930s. It was the Christian right in America. I forget the name of the I don't know if it was a bill that was passed or a thing that Hollywood did, but before that, there was a lot of nudity. There was a lot of sexually suggestive scenes. There was a gay and lesbians couples on screen and all this kind of stuff. And this obviously triggered the Christians in America. And then Hollywood said, okay, we'll police our content to appease these fuckers. So that set Hollywood back a good 30 years. It wasn't until really the 70s where you started seeing sex and violence back again. In the 1960s, they pushed the envelope. Like, I think Bonnie and Clyde was really like the first.
I would say spaghetti westerns as well, dude. Like they had like rape scenes and stuff like that in spaghetti westerns in the 60s. And they were Hollywood 60s, though, yeah. But they were released in America nevertheless, and they had Hollywood actors in it, like Van Cleef and Eli Wallach, and obviously Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, Christine. Yeah, the 60s,
if you take away the truth of the past, even when that truth is very painful, you're downgrading and erasing people's traumas like they didn't matter. So it's important to keep the truth even when it hurts, because you're saying it doesn't matter. We don't need it there. We can just erase it. Is insulting. It's an excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also, we're using it as, a way for us to say, oh, we didn't do that.
Try the film Birth of a Nation, Rick, where that was shown at the White House as well. The film that kind of really fucking helped kicked off like segregation lynching and all this kind of shit, and lynching and all this kind of shit. Yeah. I agree. People are too sensitive. They are.
No, but the thing is, okay. The thing is, Rick, though, like if for example, something that's happened recently is a reaction to something that happened in the past, which is racial swapping. Now, the thing is that with characters who were like Asian or black in the original book or original whatever, have been portrayed as white, and now that it's happened the other way, everyone's losing their minds about it. It's like, no, this is such a course correction for all the years that it wasn't done that way. And that's something that
but I mean, you can go too far with the flip side as well, because as stupid as it sounds, when you're pandering, you're not necessarily thinking about, because a lot of the pandering has come at the expense of just telling a good story. Because a lot of the time it's just like, hey, look, well, we've met our quotas and everything else is like just secondary. There we go. That's the word. Everything else is secondary. And you know we've seen that with a lot of products. So you've got to find a balance, and it's not about catering. It's just get the right fucking actor for the job. Like again, Jonathan Majors, although he's turned out to be a piece of shit, when he got cast as Kang, I was just like, that's actually a fucking good casting because he's a great actor. It's just a tragedy that he turns out to be a garbage person. Right? Kang in the comics is white, but if you get the right character, right actor for fantasy roles, then it's fine. I can be a bit of a purist with certain things when it comes to like comic books. Like I want to see page to screen like a perfect adaptation, but sometimes there are exceptions. You know, as long as the story is good and you focus on the story and everything else is secondary, that's fine. But that's not what's happening now. And a prime example of that is so. All right, so I'm going to post this one up, but this isn't what this person said. This has been taken out of context. However,
Honestly,
they did
though,
say
before you
one
show
thing.
it,
What's that?
Just before you show it, when they freaked out about Ariel, I was like, this is a fictitious character. It's a half fish, half woman. Who she could be green all over. It doesn't fucking matter. Get the best actress, the singer, whatever. And they did. She smashed that role.
Her voice, fucking amazing.
Okay.
Like I'm in love with her voice. Like I have her songs outside of Little Mermaid. Her voice is amazing. You know, I haven't watched the film because I don't really care about the live action adaptations. But I always say, if you've got your original version, which is the 1989 version, it doesn't matter what they do with it after the fact. You know what I mean? If they want to recast and change things around and all that, you've still got your original from your childhood. Your childhood's not ruined. It's then when people say, no, Michael Bay ruined Transformers for me. No, I watched the first 3 Transformers. They sucked us. I still love the classic cartoons, and the Transformers movies is one of the best animated movies of all time. My childhood's not ruined. The only difference is you've just made a shit adaptation in terms of Transformers. I don't know about Little Mermaid because I didn't watch it, but Hailey Bailey, her voice is fucking amazing. No, her voice is not shitty, Ali. It's incredible.
They've done the same thing when it came to Lord of the Rings. Like, oh, there's black elves, and people were losing their fucking minds over black elves. Like, it's fictional, mate. Who gives a fuck? You know, it doesn't matter. None of this fucking matters. And as I said about other things, like, you know, like these sort of race things and maybe gender swaps or race swaps, it's become only an issue for people recently because they've been doing it for a long time. You know, when Nick Fury became white, became black, no one gave a shit. You know, because of Samuel L. Jackson. If Samuel L. Jackson became Nick Fury more recently, I think people would be losing their fucking minds. You know,
well, the thing is, so you've got to understand with Nick Fury, that's a slightly different one because when they launched the Ultimate Comics, Mark Miller deliberately and Marvel deliberately put Nick Fury to look like Samuel Jackson because the cast in the film. But your point still stands because they changed Nick Fury in the comics to look like Samuel Jackson because that's who they wanted to cast in the film. So, but you're right. Because April O'Neil, nobody cared.
April O'Neil was people who want to do the history of characters would know that April O'Neil actually was originally mixed race. So when she ended up being black in one of the adaptations, the many adaptations of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, people lost their shit. Catwoman, when she became black by Halle Berry, no one cared because these issues weren't an issue back then. But people care now because fucking Zoe Kravitz decided to play her, even though Catwoman was originally black in the first place.
She's a kid, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, so
she wasn't originally black.
Yeah, she was. It was not not Julie Newmar. Julie Newmar was
Eartha Kitt. She was Eartha Kitt.
But people are talking about the comic. Why are you talking about the?
No, I'm talking about the 1960s, the 1960s adaptation, which is what a lot of people take it from in the first place, James.
No, but that's
Yeah.
a stupid thing to put a basis on something. I'm sorry. Like as a comic book fan, that I loathe that kind of shit. It's like
I know you personally do,
because
but a
the
lot of people
context,
who
for example, the context here we're talking April O'Neil. So I understand them going back to putting April O'Neil to how she
yeah,
was in the
I'm using both content because for a lot
yeah.
of people, they don't, when it comes to comic book characters, it's what they see on screen, not on comics. And they see initially Julie Newmar as Catwoman, not knowing that there was a black version of Catwoman prior to Julie Newmar on screen, and that's what they're comparing it to on
I
screen.
get what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But this is a good example as well. I remember this one about Tuvok. When people, and that was back then.
Did people lose their shit over that? Because
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
Yeah, they did. I remember them losing their shit about that.
Yeah.
But since then, we've had black Romulans and Asian Romulans and Asian Vulcans now. Like it's just commonplace now. We've had all the races as representing all the aliens that were originally played by white people.
Yeah.
So, trills
yeah,
and stuff like that.
When it comes to James Bond, though, that it has progressed and it has evolved. Like, for example, if you look at, for example, I don't know, a Pierce Brosnan adventure, which wasn't that long ago, and you compare it to Daniel Craig's, there's a lot of progression there. We have like more story-based like adventures rather than just people just doing shit just to do shit.
Well, they're not. They got rid of the comedy element pretty much as well. Like they
and
make
a lot of
James
people
Bond
will tell you that the Daniel Craig stuff is some of the best stuff. Not me personally. Timothy Dalton was the best stuff, but even Timothy Dalton, again, they'd kind of clamped down on the kind of sexist titillation and all this kind of stuff, and they focused on great stories. The two Timothy Dalton Bonds are my absolute fucking favorite James Bonds to this day.
License to Kill is fantastic.
What's that?
License to Kill is fantastic. It was James Bond revenge story. Even though I didn't like the ending with Felix all happy go lucky when he should have been distraught, losing limbs and fucking wife being killed. But other than that, it was an excellent movie. Regarding James Bond TLD, I know you lit up earlier, but we saw different things doing the same job. I have no problem, by the way, with a black person playing James Bond. Idris Elba if he was just a little bit younger, he would have been absolutely perfect.
I still want to see him. I still want to see him do James Bond.
He's like 54
I'm saying
now.
My next James Bond should be Henry Golding. He's young. He's good looking as fuck. He's mixed Asian white, but he looks the fucking part. And it's fitting as well because I know this sounds horrible, but you want your spies to kind of look like certain countries that because again, we're not nice people here, if we're being honest, with MI6 and fuck even MI5. But you're going to want to recruit people. Look at Turkey. Turkey just arrested a whole bunch of alleged Mossad spies, and they're all bloody Turkish. So that's so it's kind of fitting to kind of, if you have him as just again another generic white guy, then it's fine. But with Henry Golding, you can kind of play into like the race element of it as well.
And he's suave as well.
And he's suave as fuck. I mean, I'm just gonna get a picture of it. Just look what a beautiful fucking man he is.
Oh, I've seen him, but he's a very good looking guy.
Yeah.
He was in The Gentleman, and people don't know.
Yeah.
Was he in Crazy Rich Asians as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Barry Keoghan. I saw Thought recently. I don't think so, Daniel Vance.
There we go. Right. So let's preset share screen.
Aaron Taylor Johnson's been lined up to play him.
Is he
look at that. How do you not want that as your Bond? Like, you know what I mean? Aaron Taylor Johnson, another great casting choice. Why not? I'll be all right with that. He's a fucking brilliantly versatile actor.
I would love to give John Boyega a shot personally as well. If you want to put
John Boyega, that's not a bad shout.
Have a black guy play him. I wouldn't mind. I'm trying to think of like certain actors.
No, I don't want Barry Keoghan as geez, he looks like a drunk student. But Yeah, I just want to bring. So
It's a role of a
this is
lifetime.
how easy the internet can take things out of context as well. With regarding this Star Wars thing, which is this one. So, God, let me zoom in. There we go. So it's like director of next Star Wars movie says her goal is to make men uncomfortable. That's not what she said about Star Wars. That was something she said about a different film 10 fucking years ago. But this is the kind of disingenuous shit that I'm talking about. People will kind of take out concepts, put it in there to kind of make it relevant to like fuel your agenda. And no, you know, when you do shit like that, it means I don't respect your opinion. You know, like, and she's had another statement here where she says that Star Wars director, and this one's from IGN, so you know, not exactly a source that would lie about this. They know the repercussions. Oh, hang on, why not put it on screen instead of just reading it to you?
You know, you don't have an argument when you have to take a quote from 10 years ago that's unrelated.
Yeah, and this one here, it says, but this one is a stupid comment to make. Yeah, Star Wars director Charmin Obey-Chenoy has said that it's about time a woman shaped the Star Wars film after the beloved franchise has gone close to half a century directed by only men. Now, that's also a fucking tone-deaf thing to say in the current environment. Because first of all, Kathleen Kennedy has shaped Star Wars for the last fucking...
she's a director behind the scenes.
Decade. Yeah, she's the one that shaped Star Wars. So it's been shaped by a woman, and she sucks at it because she doesn't understand the fucking premise of it. And it's not about a woman and all this kind of shit. Get the right person in for the job. If it's a woman, great. People on this channel will know I fucking champion Deborah Chow to do her own show or film because of her episodes of The Mandalorian were the best. Unfortunately for her, when she got given Kenobi, Kathleen Kennedy, a woman, interfered with the whole fucking creative process, and you can tell from Deborah's interview how much she interfered. So again, it's not about the director, it's about the cunts at the top that are interfering. Be it male, be it female, if the cunt at the top is interfering, and they happen to be a woman in this regard, which is why it makes that comment more annoying, you're not going to get a good product. And that's when nobody
interfere. All they do is interfere, man. There's no production company that interferes as much as Disney do. They put their finger in every bloody pie. And Rick B, we were just talking about what she said 10, 15 years ago, which is the comment she made about men feeling uncomfortable. It's not about Star Wars. It's not about Star Wars. It was a different project, mate, and you've fallen for the propaganda.
Yeah, they've taken it completely out of context, and they took something that she said 10 years ago about a film that had LGBT themes, and they spliced it here to do that. But I've just showed you the comment that she has said, which is stupid when the person at the top is a woman and has badly shaped the franchise. So, you know, I've taken both sides of the argument here, and I've shown you both sides. I'm just saying, one is the truth, and one is completely out of context. So, I don't mind to be made feel uncomfortable. Art is art. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? Art is art. But
sometimes the more uncomfortable or the more heightened any emotion you get from art kind of proves to you that piece of art is outstanding.
Yeah, exactly. Like if art can provoke an emotion that makes you feel something, anger I wouldn't say, because anger it just means it's crap and they've just ruined something that you were really looking forward to, aka Star Wars. But if it can provoke a certain emotion from you, it's a very powerful tool. It can provoke an emotion of nostalgia, an emotion of absolute just looking at a scene and getting really emotional, like Luke Skywalker showing up in The Mandalorian. I got very emotional when in that scene, so I thought that was fucking amazing.
I'm gonna disagree for the anger emotion, because what if it was a piece of art questioning the strife during the Black Lives Matter movement?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Like, for instance, have you seen the movie like The Accused with Jodie Foster?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that's
good.
that's a
Take that back.
that film is an awesome representation of how a girl who's acting, very she flirtatious and stuff. It looks gorgeous, everything, but she doesn't want to take that next step, and men are just not listening and not realizing. And those scenes they do and what they do to her afterwards is fucked up, and it's one of the best films I've seen regarding that particular subject matter and justice for the person and all of that. It's a really good movie, and I do recommend
great-
people watch it.
Yeah.
It's a great film. South Park parodied it with the special editions by George Lucas and
Indiana Jones one when they did Indiana Jones.
when they did Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones 4 and Crystal
Yeah.
Skull and stuff like that. But they also and they're also parodying these special editions and stuff like that and all of that. So
they're two separate episodes. So there's one episode where they bring out a special edition of Indiana Jones, and there's the other episode of them reacting to Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. There's two separate episodes that they've done, and they're right for both of them. But I agree, because like with the secondary comment, the film is dead on arrival. It is. That's just a sad reality.
I don't know. I think I hope not. I mean,
I hope not. I hope it's
good. To say the damage is done means that you don't care that people misquoting her. You're fine with it, and now you want the damage to be done. I think that's an injustice, personally.
The out of context comment. Yeah, absolutely.
And the whole point I brought up the accused was about the men feeling uncomfortable, because even though that film was directed by a man, watching those scenes made me feel very uncomfortable, knowing what we are as men capable of doing, because we can't control us. Well, I can, but there's a lot of men who are unable to control themselves, and it's a fucked up world we live in.
What I was going to say is like you have in this a woman saying, look, there's been no female direction like behind the actual scenes doing this, and now we can see Kathleen Kennedy, but that's somebody just counting the money rather than just being in charge of the actual direction, and that's what she's talking about.
No. Kathleen Kennedy has interfered creatively with every single Star Wars project that doesn't involve Filoni and Favreau. Every single one. This is why so many writers have left, so many directors have been fired or left, because she doesn't agree with their vision. She is a complete control freak, and she's not alone. I don't want to just pocket her. John Peters was the same when it came to Batman and Superman. He was the same. Executive producers are all the same. Avi Arad when it comes to Spider-Man 3. They're all the fucking same. They can't help themselves. It's a power trip for them, and it's frustrating. And it's because they only think about the money, not the art. This is what happens. And so it's not just Kathleen Kennedy. She's just one of many executives that are just absolute dog shit. So that's why her comment is tone deaf.
And look, don't let the fact that a woman directing a movie is the issue and the be all and end all. There's plenty of men who've directed so much shit, renowned directors who've directed so much shit, and there's women who've directed good stuff.
Exactly.
The woman who Patty Johnson, she's done good stuff. The woman, Jenkins. Sorry, I apologize. And there's Catherine Bigelow, who directed Point Break, which is an awesome fucking film.
Catherine Bigelow was superb.
In that movie, and not a moment
Penelope Spheris,
another worried about. Sorry,
Penelope Spheris, who did the Wayne's World films.
Yeah,
she was another one.
Barry Herring, who did what's the name, American Psycho, which is a brilliant film.
Yeah, fucking great film. Exactly. So, yeah, it's not. It's again, it doesn't matter what the gender is. It matters who the executive is. We've seen what happens. Have a great executive running things like Kevin Feige. No matter what everything's happened now, Disney interfered after the fact because they overstretched the poor bastard and he couldn't have oversight over everything, and they just wanted a bunch of shit churned out. And then the new CEO goes with algorithms and Twitter, doesn't care about the product, But Kevin Feige, for the first fucking when they hired him up until Endgame, is it Endgame? Yeah, Endgame. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Like he was the one that got it. He got it. He understood it. And I'm in no doubt, although I have my issues with James Gunn, I'm in no doubt he's going to allow more freedom for people to kind of do their thing. Because we saw
you
what
don't
happened.
want the bean counters to fucking interfere with the art.
Exactly. What was the guy, Hamada, who was the executive producer for DC, that literally destroyed the DC universe, cinematic universe. Again, another piece of shit who just wanted every fucking film was exactly the same. They were all the same boring, bland garbage. So you got it. The bean counters need to be just bean counters and nothing else. Do not interfere with artistic directing. If you want an executive to interfere or have their say, make sure that they have a background in it, that they know what they're doing and they know the franchise that they're working with. Otherwise, fuck off.
That's why I'm so glad that Ryan Reynolds took 10 years before he decided to go ahead with Deadpool, because he wasn't going to compromise. He said, this is the vision. If we're not going to do it that way, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And look what we got as a result. A fucking awesome movie.
Yeah.
Two
One
so
awesome movie. The second one was okay. It hasn't it on repeat viewing it's diminishing, but they were solid enough and they made money.
I mean, the first one was so good. How do you follow that, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the second one, okay, to be fair to the second one, although in any other context it would have pissed me off seeing X-Force die like this, in this film, I nearly passed out from laughing the way they died. When they're jumping down from the jet and everyone kind of dies in their own way. That to me is still one of the funniest Hollywood scenes ever.
When I saw that, I was thinking to myself, that's really funny, but MacGruber did it first with the wrestlers. And that's the first thing I thought of when I saw that. Like, I've already seen this joke before. Yeah, but they still died off, you know what I mean? Like, and I mean, the only cool thing was the Invisible. Yeah, the only cool thing was seeing Brad Pitt as the Invisible guy for a second. That was hilarious. Yeah, so read American Psycho. Yeah, American Psycho is better than the film version, simply because what he gets up to. But I enjoy films when
Iron Man 3 provokes anger from me. We're talking about it's the best Iron Man film out of the trilogy.
The quadrilogy. And it is.
They only made 3 Iron Man films.
Cheeto.
Iron Man. Sorry, I thought I was thinking 4. Sorry.
Cheeto, how did you do on the test that we had earlier? The quiz.
Yeah, how did you do on your Canada quiz? Thor Ragnarok provokes anger out of everyone.
As far as he's concerned, Canada's another state, but he's an American.
Well, technically, Canada is a state because that's just another word for country. So every time I go to the States, I ask people, I bet them you could never guess what state I'm from. Because in their minds, states only exist in the United States.
Okay.
Where are you from? British Columbia?
No, Ontario.
Oh, Ontario. Oh, yeah.
That's the province she's living in.
I don't get a chance. Thank you for the conversation. Thank you, fun as always. See you, TLD. I'm from the South. Did you get the joke? No.
Not joke.
Oh, yes, I did. Beverly Hillbillies, I think.
Well, if you're from the South, then I'll say this. TLD. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was what they used to say. Hey, y'all come back now, you hear?
Well, aren't you precious?
Over in this season of What If. I don't really care.
There's an underlining tone and meaning to words in the South, because when someone says, aren't you precious, they're not being kind.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a lot of them, but I was busy cooking. Oh, well, what you did, just stick things in a microwave. All right, moving on to the final stretch of things, and that would be, what games is everyone looking forward to in 2024?
You got a list?
I've got a list here, so I'll give you my lot. They're not many at the moment, but we've got Mario versus Donkey Kong, Peach's Showtime, Snow Day South Park, and Tomb Raider Remastered. Now, I've got to say this for the Nintendo Switch. In its last leg, the last 2 years, they've really churned out some absolute fucking bangers. The first 4 years of this thing's life, it's been nothing but absolute dog shit, boring ass Japanese fucking turn-based RPGs. And now the last year, especially the Mario stuff, it's been nuts. So I'm really looking forward to all that kind of stuff. Everything else that I've seen this year, I'll get you a list up so I can go through it for you guys to refresh your memories. It releases 2024. Fuck off. Right. Let's see. So in January, we have Devil May Cry, Peak of... Oh, that's mobile. Fuck that. Momodora.
That's a shame.
Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. That's that 2D.
It looks like a mobile game.
What's that?
It looks that game looks like a mobile game. It could be a mobile game.
Yeah. Let me see. Last of Us 2 remastered. Why? Grave no. Howl. No, that's shit. Like a Dragon, Infinite World. No, that one. Tekken 8. Anyone? No, didn't think so. The game hasn't changed since its inception. Rugby 24. No. February. Grand Blue Fantasy. No. Jiu-Jitsu. Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. That's top of Gary's list.
God, I was looking forward to
Oh,
that
yeah,
game.
you said it's
not
going to bomb.
anymore.
Oh yeah, it's gonna bomb harder than flaming. I don't know, something that bombs.
Sam's Taxi, Sam's Toilet Simulator. Yeah.
So Final
toilet-
Fantasy VII Rebirth, that looks amazing. Silent Hill 2 remaster. I hope it's good. Yeah,
Hold on.
South Park.
When you
game.
say Sam's
Sam's
Taxi Simulator,
Simulator.
do you not believe that I'm a cab driver? Is that what you're saying?
No, Fake Taxi is a porno, mate.
Oh, okay, I have no idea.
Where
Yeah, no,
Boxy Pop stars like ride the flaming taxi driver for.
Yeah, so he's saying so you'd have your version of like Fake Taxi Simulator VR edition.
I would need a people carrier because there's no stretching room in my fucking car. You know what I mean? I need as much space as possible to get the various positions going.
I might get a blowjob
Sam?
on one of the celebrities who gets in his car.
Yeah.
these days.
Sam, do people have sex in your cab while you're there?
I had a couple of people make out a bit. You know, I'm thinking, why don't you fuckers get a room? You know what I mean? Like, I remember, like, usually when you do get couples, one person will sit on the far seat, somebody will sit on the opposite seat. But then sometimes one person might want to sit in the middle seat, and you have to put the belt on just so you could get canoodle a little bit with his partner. And I'm thinking to myself, shit, like, are you not capable of just holding it out just a little bit? You know what I mean? It's so fucking distracting when I'm looking in the mirror, seeing you fuckers making it out or whatever, or getting a bit too lovey-dovey in the back of my car. Yeah, I don't like that, but
See, this is
like,
just to be your OnlyFans, just like, you know, fake taxi.
Yeah,
Your London
Right,
club
back to
star.
the games list. Let's not talk about sexy taxis. Yeah, so we've got here Tomb Raider 1 to 3 remastered. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm gonna get that on
it looks
Switch.
shit. I've seen the remaster. It's still polygon as fuck. It just
I don't care. I don't mind. You could do like a slightly cleaner version and play old school style. I'm gonna play old school style for the trip down memory lane. Play up. Oh yeah, Mario versus Donkey Kong, Skull and Bones.
No, I'm not looking. I was looking forward to that game, but if you want to play a pirate game, just play Black Flag. It's the best pirate game ever, and Skull and Bones will never fucking come close to that.
Yeah, exactly. So we have here Terminator, Dark Fate, Defiance. Oh, that's a real-time strategy game. Oh, that might be good.
The film was
okay.
crap.
Oh yeah, the film. All the Terminator films suck except for the first two. Let me see. Open Roads. That's a driving simulator. Sharon the Wanderer. Star Wars Dark Forces Remastered. No.
Dark Forces. What's that one?
Yeah, that was the first-person shooter game that
It was
everyone
really
loved because they're all a bunch of console jockeys and never played Jedi Outcast, which is the greatest Star Wars game ever made. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yes, that looks incredible. Can't believe it's taken this long to get to the other part of it.
You just make Cheetah
In
come in your pants.
March, nothing stands out. Oh, Alone in the Dark, March 20th. That could be good.
No, not for
Dragon's
me. I don't like horror games.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of horror games either, but I did like the Alone in the Dark stuff. Rise of the Ronin. Now, this was the one I think people were quite hyped for. That's that kind of ninja western type game. So it could be all right. South Park Snow Day. Yes, that looks awesome. Then we get into April. Not much in April. Nothing that stands out. June, we get Destiny. Nobody cares about that. August. August, we get Black Myth Wukong. This is the story set. You guys remember the old show Monkey Magic?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
So that obviously that old fable from China about a monk traveling west to something or other. I forget what the fable was, but yeah, they're making a game version of that based on the book, not the TV series, and it looks incredible. The graphics for it look phenomenal. It is a Souls-like game, unfortunately, but I'm still going to get it because it does look fucking awesome. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Oh, that's Christine's favorite game right there. And
Warhammer?
then
Warhammer?
Yeah.
I'm not a Warhammer fan. Yeah,
I
don't
am.
worry. Yeah, Gary is a Warhammer fan, so he'll get that. Games to be announced in
Play
terms
Total
of
War
release
stuff,
date.
JJ.
Yeah, let me see. Anything stand out here? So these games I'll read out don't have a release date yet. Nothing really stands out.
I've got a couple of games that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, go on. Tell us.
So we have Rosewater, which is an adventure game, which is like set in the Wild West. Really looking forward to that. Forgotten Skies, which is about time. Now, I'm a huge time travel nerd. So this is basically about this woman who can time travel between different ones. And one of the time periods is on September the 10th, 2001. So that should be interesting to see what happens there.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. New Broken Sword games, which I'm always fighting. But the one I'm really looking forward to is Rebirth, as Kazujito just talked about before.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
I like a video game that is like a choose your own adventure. Like on top of playing the game, you can make a movie out of it. For instance, The Walking Dead with
So like you like the Telltale games?
with the girl named Clementine.
Stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped
Yeah,
playing after the second one.
Yeah,
She's all grown up by the third one now.
There's a new Star Trek one called Resurgence. That's that kind of game, which I'm playing at the moment.
Oh yeah. Oh, Hades 2 is coming out. Hades 1 was a great game.
Christine, you should watch reactions to the end of the first Walking Dead game, because you know the ending of the first game. Do you remember that? Where
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know I watched it.
What was the name of the main character you play as? I forgot his name.
Clementine.
No, not Clementine. You play as in the second game.
The big black dude?
Yeah.
Don't remember
I forgot
his name.
But he dies at the end.
Yeah.
And then Clementine had the option to leave him or kill him or whatever, but she's pretty much left on her own to roam around in the world full of zombies. And the ending of that game is very sad. Because all the characters pretty much die. All that whole group you're with, they all end up dying by the end. And if you watch the reaction to that game, there are so many people who end up fucking crying by the end of that game. It's so funny.
We love you too.
I think that goes to show that it's so well done. I mean, because that kind of form of entertainment could have gone really wrong, but it's done well in that game.
It made you care about the characters of the world building and stuff like that. But what I've noticed with zombie films is very rarely a happy ending. And how can there be? Like your world has been taken over by the undead. So yeah.
Vaunt, Monkey Magic was a fantastic. It was a Japanese show about Chinese characters going to India to find Buddha or something like that. And it's one of the best shows. Has the best theme song ever.
Monkey magic. Monkey
The best
magic.
part
Oh,
of it
man.
is it never took off in America, meaning nobody got to. The Americans didn't get to ruin it. It was only massive in Australia, Japan, and the UK. I think maybe South Africa and Brazil.
And
as
if
well.
you did this, but I did this all the time to get myself a flying cloud. I go like that, and a flying cloud would never appear for me, but it would appear for Monkey, and you jump on that flying cloud and go all over the fucking shop. It was awesome.
It was just the best show. But I enjoyed it more in Greece than I did in the UK, because in Greece they had the uncut versions. It's the same with One Piece. It was all uncut versions rather than the kind of censored versions that they did over here. But still, great show. And yeah, so the Black Myth Wukong is kind of based on the fable that show was also based on, and looks great. But yeah, it's there's a lot more games being released, by the way. They just not have got date confirmed, and I can't be asked to go through
But
all of them.
I don't know really what I want from a game in the future, but if there was one game that tickles my fancy a little bit, and just I'm saying just the ultimate little bit, is probably Star Wars Outlaws. I'm curious about that game. It seems to be the closest thing to we would get to be on Good and Evil 2. You know, regarding a game where some people are flying into space, they're flying on planets, all of these sort of things. It looks pretty cool. I wouldn't.
Yeah, Ubisoft, so expect it to be brand.
I know, but
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I want that to be a good game.
It's just that everything seems to be hack and slash and shooting, and like there's just nothing out there that speaks to me like with like come and get me, buy me. I'm a very unique game. The last game that did that to a degree was No Man's Sky, and that ended up being an absolute con. Yes, it did improve over the years with the updates, but it was an unfinished game they gave you. If they gave it to us 5 years later from its release, I would have probably loved it.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but that's another game I'm looking forward to. It's their follow-up one. There's no release date on that at all. I forgot what it's called.
Light No Fire.
Light No Fires, that was it. And I think it's better them doing that, just focusing on one planet that's procedurally generated and making it a multiplayer survival RPG, which I'm not a big fan of survival games, but this one doesn't look like it says drink water and all this kind of stupid shit. So I'm looking forward to that. It looks great. You can ride fucking dragons across the whole thing, and yeah, that one would be great. Play a lot of games or just every now and then. I'm not big. It's not as big as game as I used to be. I think none of us really are here.
I used to be a big gamer, not in the world, because a lot of games now are complete and total wank.
Yeah. Last game I bought was Viewfinder, which was excellent. That was unique as fuck. That's a great game. But I also
expansion pack.
What's that?
SimCity
expansion pack.
Nice.
That was my last.
FC24 bought, and that's a bunch of wank. It's like FIFA, just with a different name.
You bought FIFA, really?
That is FIFA.
Yeah, that's FIFA.
It's made by EA, but it just got a different name now. But they lost the thingy, the license. Are you in PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4, Gary?
4.
You need to get yourself a 5.
I just play PC games if I want to play like high-end stuff.
Yeah, I'm waiting now. I'm mainly on my laptop now for gaming. And it's done great because I downloaded the finals. So the finals, it was good, but there's not enough there to kind of keep me going. It's like a PvP game, like a bit like Call of Duty mixed with like other stuff, but it's got destruction, environments that can be destroyed. And that part's great of it, but there's not enough there to kind of keep going. However, it ran beautifully on my laptop. I was well surprised, given it's a new game. So I was well chuffed.
Gary, are you able to play Sony PlayStation exclusives on your PC?
Do I have any products on the? I've got God of War. I've got Spider-Man. What?
On your PC?
Oh, my PC, no.
No, but I was wondering because that's the same because like Spider-Man 2, for instance, which was one of the last game I purchased, Rigby. That was
Go away,
that's a
cat.
PlayStation,
Go away. Fucking
PlayStation
hell, you always
exclusive.
want to prove you bitch.
and it's an awesome game. It's not the first one was revolutionary. The second one isn't, but it's still a good game regardless. It sets up a lot for the third game.
I'm gonna watch all the cutscenes now for the story as well. I'm gonna do that tomorrow because I've
It's
no
the best
interest in the game.
adaptation. It's the best adaptation of Venom I've ever seen.
Yeah,
It's funny.
Yeah, a lot of people
Guess who
say
played
that.
Venom played Tony Buddy Todd, the Candyman himself.
Yeah. He's
brilliant.
awesome.
I'll spoil the story for me though. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. And that,
Yeah,
but
no, you see.
yeah, I think that's it. Really, I've got nothing else to talk about. I thought I'd finish on gaming. We can end the stream there, short and sweet this week.
With Christmas and New Year basically taking up most of the time, it's not been the best time for news, I guess. But I'm sure there'll be news to come.
Yeah, I'm sure next week is going to fill us with more dreads. And actually, here's what we're going to finish on. We're going to finish on this. I was saving this little juicy bitch till last. But for those that know of the
Oh, this is awesome. Awesome. That's a nice one. Give us a full screen.
there you go.
Arcane season 1 was awesome.
Yep. I've not watched this trailer. I just thought, and I thought I'll save this to the end for us.
Proper steampunk.
Yeah. Not enough steampunk stuff out there.
I love steampunk. Not enough this week.
Agreed.
Well, that was the shittest trailer I've ever seen in my entire
Yeah,
life.
that was the shit. That was fucking shit. I hate those kind of teasers. Still
Yeah.
looking forward to it though. Can't wait. Don't know when it's coming out. Does it say when it's coming out? Let me see. November. Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, that's not good. Right at the end of the fucking year. Oh well. Anyway, on that note, I want to thank
November.
all of my co-hosts for joining me. Everyone in the chats. It was a really good session today. I think we all got a lot off our chests and a lot of shit was said, and it was all lovely jubbly. And on that note, stick around, keep an eye out for more videos on NerdTube. And if not, come back for next Friday's podcast, you bunch of ingrates who don't appreciate all the other lovely content that we have. On that note, good fucking bye.
Yeah.